Welcome to today's session of Viewer Levels. And I see we have a couple of submissions in the queue already, but before we get to them, we're just going to make sure that the stream is more or less functional and run a quick warm-up level by Kenna, who we've featured a couple of times before and who I try to record fairly urgently nowadays because a lot of their levels have recently been deleted. I don't read Japanese, so once again, we're going to point to the machine translation at this and discover that it's something approximately like a pack-on course that feels like a country of clay pipes. The behavior of walking something, I think it's like a fire piranha, but I'm not sure, is getting closer and closer. Beware of U-turns. And then after that, we'll get to the submissions that we have from Tempest Funk, B-Minutes, and Hyperion Smokestack. So welcome, everyone, and I hope you are all doing quite well. And as usual, one of the things we'll be testing for early is whether my sound is up and running, so do let me know if we have any issues on that score. The problems with the player, however, will have to be fixed another way. Okay. Yeah, let's maybe let this thing go up first and then get a little boost. But Tempest Funk, because they love doing all kinds of interesting layering tech with skewers and muncher stacks and so on, and some of that stuff tripped up Nintendo's glitch detection. Either that or some miscreant just reported it because these levels are fairly popular in Japan. But they had this whole series of sort of skewer-related or pseudo-skewer levels that used a whole bunch of really interesting collision setups that might have run afoul of something. So, you're allowed to stack enemies, but I do know that a rather astonishing number of people who submit to this stream actually have run into deletion issues recently. I know Supernova's level that was here on Viewer Levels last week got deleted, and I think Mang lost one recently as well. So you just don't know. I mean, very good idea to just back things up. Create a second copy before you upload if you have any doubts about the tech that you're using, just in case. Because Nintendo seems to have been pretty aggressive with this, which just makes it all the more important that we record everything. I guess we won't really be going for much else here. So yeah, I guess this is attempting to do the walking piranha setup, this whole thing, using twisters just to sway them back and forth in certain locations. This is terribly unsafe. Yeah, I was trying to approach that, and that did not go. The Patuis, exactly. Hyperion, that is exactly right. That's what this level is all about. Of course, you know, not quite elevating the spike balls directly upwards like they would be doing when juggling them in the original, but you are absolutely correct. That this is what this is emulating. Yeah, I sort of misread whatever the translation of Japanese was as something to do with fire piranhas, but no, you're absolutely right. It is the Patui piranha. And, whoops, there we go. And we can probably hit this if we just jump over and take the quick bonus coin over here. And yes, Tempest Funk, it was the diagonal thwomp level that got nuked by Nintendo. I managed to save a second copy locally when Supernova decided to just briefly re-upload it for people to grab. I think he actually did have to reconstruct it block by block, though, because he did lose his local copy as well, since the identifier for your local copy gets linked to the live copy on the server once you have an upload. As people who deal with deletion probably know by now. Okay, we're checking that pipe. And, oh, I see. This pipe is just showing you the setup that you have... Well, let's take a look at this again. Mecha and Morton stacked with the Thwomp, and that is what kind of gives you that movement behavior that we saw up above, where, you know, it's just based on the Mecha Koopa positioning at the base. Morton, I'm guessing, is probably there partly to keep all of that loaded. But yeah, being extra careful these days with loading some of that stuff, if we have any doubts about how Nintendo's going to treat it. So here we have some kind of global on-off timer that's controlling the piranhas out of the pipes. Much easier to see than just normal piranhas out of pipes, and also much better synchronized. Even though we are loading them all in the same vertical location on the y-axis, at least initially, with these top two rows here. So yeah, the on-off blocks are not killing the planets as they retract. That's a very good observation. Okay. Now let's let everything go. And yeah, it looks like they're just separately layered in some form. It's sort of interesting. It's like they're on a totally different layer entirely. There's a whole bunch of tech like this that this maker has researched, and that was one of the things that we're doing for a long time, was just doing like muncher collisions, blaster collisions, and such that would behave in surprisingly flexible ways. And B. Minutes, congratulations on blowing up the planet. I don't know if you saved the animals or killed the animals, but left them to die, rather, but yeah, congratulations. Do let me know what your percentage completion was like and whether you're planning to go back for more, but... And B. Minutes, so what do you have left now before Metroid Dread? I know you were kind of running everything you could of the series. Alright, let's do this. Grab this guy and get out. Yeah, 8 hours is not bad at all, actually, for your first run with the in-game timer. No, my first time was much longer than that, I think. And every time I go back, but then I'm easily distractible, and I don't necessarily do a 100% sweep on the first playthrough, but I definitely do check a lot of corners along the way, so you made very good time, I think. B. Minutes, so the various creatures that you meet on the planet are in the escape sequence trapped in a separate room, and you can make a bit of a diversion during the escape sequence to release them and make sure they get off the planet safely. And so whenever Super Metroid comes up in events such as GDQ, that has become a major funding drive in a way where, you know, people put in money to vote for whether you save the animals or kill the animals. And yeah, no, B. Minutes is not a joke. I guess you ignored the animals room, which is understandable for your first playthrough if you don't know that that is going on. Alright, let's take a look at the first level once again. Do let me know this early in the stream if anything odd is going on with the sound. Now, B. Minutes, how the heck would you even know how to do that? It's actually not far out of the way. It is kind of along the way during the escape sequence, as long as you're not panicking about the timer. It's just a very short detour. And yeah, exactly, you're easily going to miss that if you freak out and want to win. So Tempest Funk, let's take a look at 205 SSY 13G. And hello to everybody who came in just now that I didn't say hi to. Nugukaza and Glitch and Mang and everybody else. So this is Growing Pains, light precision level made for Maker Madness 3. And I see we have a world record from Nobody Could Say My Old Name registered already, so congratulations to him for grinding that out. This is from about a week ago. Is it possible to die to the final boss if you're talking about the bits with the hyper beam at the end? Well, one second here. Let's take a look at this level. Alright, so we go up here. Shouldn't be especially tight. We lower that, and then that allows me to do what? Oh, I see. Everything was on that platform. Okay. And then all of this stuff is stacked. You had the jump block here that looked like if I whacked it, I would be able to kill the piranha with the jump block. But instead, we'll go up here and just take the edge. And I know Tempest Funky were saying that Maker Madness was this racing event. I don't know how the last level that you made for that went, but hopefully that worked out just fine. Okay, so 30 coin is going to drop everything, and then we have to go back up, and that activates the on-off switch, and then that bounces the piranha after taking it off the wall. So we go back down. Good visibility there. Okay. I like how the tuning of this level almost makes me feel like I'm able to play Precision, which, of course, is a bold claim considering I just died. And Sadamil, welcome. Thank you for Sheffy Cardia Kaizo. Looking forward to that when we get to it. I actually kind of wonder if I can whack that block right away. I suspect that I might be able to, but that it won't really get me anywhere. Because we still need the on-off state switch to proceed. Of course, we're going to try it. No, it doesn't hit. Okay. Yeah, because it needs to hit at the base in order to actually make contact. Now let's check the side here. And we need to activate the on-off switch, so let's do that. And yeah, you can see everything that's going on with the bomb setup under the on-off trigger. And All Out Faye, thank you for the key is Thwomp. Looking forward to that when we get to it. So for new people here, whoops, we tend to rotate between next and sub next until we get into way too many repetitions for subs, and then we start to just go straight down the queue. I do not really keep a time limit per level, but that's because between some of the shorter and longer submissions, they do even out over the course of time, so that's just the way we will be running things here. And if you are in the queue, I will almost certainly play your level so long as you stay. Tend to run for fairly long, even after queue closing. So, welcome to everybody new and old. Alright, let's do this once again. Oh, back up. And back out here, we've learned from the previous coins that we can in fact ride the side of this guy. Whoops. Do I play Kaizo levels? I have played Kaizo levels. I'm not particularly good at them, but I can do some of the basic tech required. I am absolutely willing to play a Kaizo submission, if that's what you're asking. And sometimes I do beat them. It really depends on how relaxed they are. Like, I'm not particularly experienced with them, but it's not like I'll rule them out like some other streamers might. So yeah, I'm definitely willing to take a look at yours, and we'll see how I do on it. Whoops. I don't know if I'm particularly good. I would say that I have beaten some Team Shell stuff on stream that is up to like a 2 or 3 or so, which I know is not very high, but you know, that takes care of a lot of the really basic shell jump techniques and so on, and nothing extremely advanced. But yeah, I mean, we'll see when we get to yours whether it's very threatening, because, you know, I've had people submit Kaizo levels to me before where I say, okay, I don't know if I can do that, and then I play them and they go perfectly well, so. And then sometimes we have the opposite experience, where we just get killed by something because I don't know how to do a particular form of item handling, perhaps, but we'll find out the hard way. Alright. That's fine. We need to jump off that piranha back onto this platform. Okay, great. And then we need to head back down. Slightly better timing there. And B-Minutes, you were saying, to answer my question, you've beaten all the main Metroid games now if you count Samus Returns as 2. Yeah, and I do. I've never actually beaten Game Boy's Return of Samus either. At some point, I may actually look into another Metroid 2 remake, which is the well, another Metroid 2 remake, the fan game that was made before Samus Returns was announced, in which Nintendo, of course, issued a takedown for, but was widely circulated enough that I do have a copy sitting around. Because it's a very different take on how to do Metroid 2, as far as I understand. It has a very different focus in terms of how to reimagine certain sections, and you know, you do have people who are very partial to one remake or the other. Nope, hitting that P block there, that's the issue. I don't want to hit that wall. Satamil, you have a Kaizo with phantoms. By phantoms, do you mean, you know, Phanto with the cursed key, or do you mean booze? Or something else entirely? I might be able to do it. I don't know yet. Like I said, I'm not going to rule that out until I see the level. I mean, you can watch me play for a bit here before we get to your level, and if you feel like I'm nowhere near the skill required, you can always replace the code if you want, but the only way to find out, really, if I can do your level is if I play it, so we'll get to that and give it a try. And yes, B-Minutes, that is a wonderful emote. Okay. Yeah, I've been meaning to go over some Metroid again myself before Metroid Dread. It's been some years since I played some of the games. Like, I had a bit of a marathon of running Super and Zero Mission and Fusion in some order. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I think. But I haven't done that since then. I used to play the games a lot more often. Okay, there we go. And here we are. Okay. And that's fine, just a little bit more time sensitive in places, and we can do that. And yeah, very nice of Tempest Funk to submit a precision-style level that I can actually play, which is not often the case. Alright, on switch over there. I think we just continue following the loop. I don't know that I can interact with anything here yet. But we have gradually kind of reconfigured the level such that we have a new passageway open, I think. But we'll see if that's actually the case. Yeah, because we can come up here now, whoops, and then we can go up to the left because of that on-off state switch. And I'll catch up in the chat in just a bit. It's moving a little quickly for me right now while I try to plan some of these jumps. So I am slightly behind. And B-Minutes, killer robots scare you? I mean, did you have a very unfortunate encounter with a killer robot as a child, or does the fear come from somewhere more primal? I think I'm actually better off with the killer robots than I am with a lot of those biomasses, those intelligent biomasses that you see all over the Metroid series. Between that and the mechanical stuff, I think I'd rather take the mechanical stuff. And then you have stuff like Nightmare in Metroid Fusion, which is a bit of both. And B-Minutes, I take it you've just been doing the 2D games, right? If I understand it, the kind of mainline series leading up to Dread. Okay, let's go down. And up here. Okay, this is going to drop the bomb, and then we fall down here, which is going to be tricky. But actually surprisingly successful, given that usually I would not count myself to do this. Look at how this gradually narrows. I like the sense of progression in this level, that you just make things slightly tighter for yourself in each iteration. Create a few more complications that keep dropping down and stacking. And then eventually you make it through. But it's actually very forgiving, you just need to be careful. This, I think, is what precision levels actually should feel like. Where there's nothing that feels like guessing, like it's always just generous enough to be within your control. And, of course, the complexity of the level transforming is really nice to see as well. Love how this actually forces a little bit of extra tightness, as well as that half-tile offset that you see on those big piranhas, just because of the way they spawn out of the blocks. Very nice touch. And then, of course, you're going to kill a bunch of stuff with that switch. Whoops, just didn't get that bounce. Yeah, B-Minutes, I know that you were saying that you don't really tend to do a lot of non-linear navigation as much. And so I can totally understand why, you know, maybe Metroid wouldn't necessarily be kind of up-ranked Nintendo for you, but it is a matter of playstyle. We were having a conversation about this yesterday on stream, actually, when I was playing this gigantic non-linear Zelda dungeon level. In terms of, you know, people's taste for linearity in games and how much directedness they need without feeling lost. I'm very comfortable with feeling lost because there's one thing that I really don't do in video games, which is follow instructions. And those navigationally oriented games are very, very nice for people who don't like to follow instructions. So. Okay, didn't quite get how to do this. I think I do need to do a little jump here. So, Deanna, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. And yeah, B-Minutes, it's sort of interesting because from your perspective, and I mean, I've heard a lot of people who kind of like things to be a little bit more straightforward navigationally, say that they really love Fusion. And because usually for a lot of sort of long-time non-linear people, that was one disappointment about Fusion, was just how confined a lot of the locking of the map could be. And you know, despite the quality of a lot of the set pieces and chases and boss fights and so on, all that stuff is great, but it was definitely less open, and it locks you out in some pretty surprising locations sometimes. Okay, let's try to do this. That was actually the right idea, I just overshot. And you think Fusion is your favorite? Yeah, I was kind of expecting that to be the case, just from how you're describing your own playstyle. Anyway, like I was saying, I will definitely be streaming Metroid Dread in October. It is a major priority for me. I might even have to put viewer levels on hold for a week when it comes out, to be honest. But we'll see when we get closer to it, just what our plans are going to be like. There we go. Tough one here. Can we do that? And then curve my way down. Not quite. And yeah, Hyperion, it is very true that sometimes from a streamer's perspective, you know, I have to kind of make a decision as to whether I want to play a game right at launch, given that, of course, things are a little bit more watchable if you have played them already, if you're invested in the game yourself and don't want to be spoiled. But at the same time, I also don't really want to be spoiled, and I just want to get into that at first opportunity. But we'll see what happens. It may be that I wind up ordering a physical copy or something that arrives days too late. And then I'll just end up streaming it late by necessity, but... Anyway, I do plan to do Metroid Dread, that's the whole point I'm trying to make. Okay, there we go. Can't believe I did that twice. And yeah, B-Minutes, I think even a lot of diehard fans would admit that that's definitely a problem with the original on the NES, particularly before the map system came in. But as far as directedness goes, like one of the more controversial things about Super Metroid, of course, is the Meridia pipe. And I always loved that. I thought it was one of the great, you know, aha moments in the video game. But I can see why, you know, people who are thinking that it's just too obscure an interaction would find that frustrating if they're just kind of running around not knowing what they can interact with, since it's such a unique interactive piece that is unlike anything else you see in the game up to that point. So I don't think I need to describe it further. I think everybody who has played Super Metroid knows the exact spot. But that's one of my favorite moments in a video game, to be honest, and I can also see why some people would hate it. Whoa. Okay, there we go. And you did figure out the pipe on your own, yeah? What is this? OIPE? Oh, am I reading this correctly? OIPE? And thank you for the GG. Anyway, let's thank Tempest Funk first of all for a precision level that's actually tuned for me for a change. No, that was fun in terms of watching the various rooms come together and transform. I think that just from a perspective of seeing a dynamic layout, that was quite a joy to observe, so thank you very much for that. We're going to plug in sub next, while I also scroll up and see what's going on with the chat, because we had that big Metroid conversation just now that I've only sort of halfway followed. But yeah, the Metroid conversation, all the people who had also come in, which I hope I've said hello to. And Hyperion Smokestack, you said you had something special lined up. Let's take a look. Ludwig's Lava Labyrinth. Multi-phase Ludwig battle designed for that one guy on Twitch who's everybody has trouble pronouncing. Not very many plays on this so far. 2 clears, world record 348. Well, let's see how it goes. Hyperion Smokestack, kind of found my stream in the first place because he was looking for people to play his Koopaling boss rushes, and it turned out that he found a very well-suited player to crash against Koopaling boss rushes. Is it just me, or is this the reverse of this staircase that you used to do? Didn't it used to go up? It's been a long time, I don't actually remember. And yeah, B-Minutes, there's really quite a lot going on in Super as well in terms of, you know, big set-piece sequences and the baby Metroid doing its thing. Especially if you were playing the story order. I think it's actually a fairly unique experience these days, in fact, to be playing Super Metroid for the first time after one version or other of Metroid 2. Because I think a lot of players past a certain generation are introduced to Super Metroid first. And so the moment with the baby Metroid coming and saving you is maybe a little lost on them in terms of the attachment that you have to it. Okay. That's fine, we'll just duck underneath some of this. Ludwig's going to sit around in his clown car over there and just clown around. This coin here, I wonder what that's all about. Alright. He's just going to hit us repeatedly on target. I guess it is just signaling in advance that the projectiles are in fact going to cross through walls and melt ice. Nice way of showing that to reinforce that collision logic or lack thereof for the player in case there's any kind of lack of clarity about it. And we'll make sure we don't beat the auto-scroll too fast because that will get me into some trouble with visibility. And yeah, we'll just stay low enough to actually dodge some of the hammers coming up. So anyway, this climbing phase here, we just try to survive it and eventually get to a place where we can, in fact, hit Ludwig somehow. Yeah, if you stay reasonably centered, you're actually fairly safe here, but then now you run into some potential issues with the hammer. Nope, there we go, squirrel suit. Okay, fairly unique considering that we don't actually have that much headroom here. Now I believe we will almost certainly need to bop him for the key. Let's... Oh, lava's coming up, but thankfully it stops. Okay, good. I wasn't even thinking about the lava level all this time, so... Let's not get bumped by the clown car, that's certainly a risk factor here. Okay, there we go. B-Minutes, I've actually not played Dragon Quest. I've been told that 11 was a really good place to start, actually. For people who love traditional JRPGs. I was also, however, told that 11 was 100 hours long, and that might have affected my decision to hold off on it. Just maybe. Because I remember thinking last year, like, do I pick up Dragon Quest or do I pick up something else? And I realized the likelihood of my finishing it was perhaps a little bit low. Okay. And, okay, let's get Ludwig down here. Oh, okay, I thought that was going to be hit number 3, and I just miscounted, I think. Whoops. Okay, we are past checkpoints. Notice the exit door to the right. Oh, whoops, accidentally got blown into something dangerous. Ah, here's Ludwig. Yeah, this phase again, so let's just be careful here. I was trying to get out of that safely somehow, but with the twisters coming in, I thought I was probably dead. Your playthrough of 11 was 115 hours and you didn't come close to doing everything. Yeah, I heard that was experience. But Yeah, it feels like, you know, you do need to know what you're getting into with games of that scope, and that they're great if you actually have a spot in your life for them, but sometimes that can be a little bit of an intimidating number to see coming in from the start. Whoa. And yeah, good to know it is great. I mean, I have always enjoyed classic turn-based battle systems that just don't have too much additional fluff to them. Really enjoyed Octopath Traveler, for instance, which now that I think about it, I also didn't finish, because Octopath Traveler is such an open and non-linear game. I spent all my time in it fooling around and, you know, just wandering and exploring and tricking out the battle system in various ways, and so I never actually got around to finishing it, and I think it's been long enough now that if I wanted to finish it, I'd have to start over, because I just don't remember my party or my various setups well enough. You just started Persona 5? Yeah, I heard Persona 5 is also kind of a big investment. And okay, let's get over here. Yeah, Ludwig in his winged form does stay up forever and ever, so we need to make sure we're outside of the twisters, I think. Getting trapped by twisters is the biggest problem here. I should take advantage of spin jumps a little more than I've been doing in order to reposition myself. And we'll just stay reasonably centered so the twisters don't do too much to me. So if we find just a good approach until Ludwig gets a chance to drop, then we'll be fine. The issue is that he is dropping back onto twisters, and until he drops on the ground, I think we are going to have some issues. I was just a little bit late on that. That was the right opportunity, and we just didn't quite get him. And yeah, B-Minus, I knew and expected that there was something like a true ending boss. I didn't know how it was set up, though. But yeah, I spent a lot of time in Octopath, you know, not particularly caring about making progress, just because something like a really open map for that with dungeons that you can just run into actually works so well for that format, where the focus is just entirely on enjoying your party and what you can do with it. And I really enjoyed the original Bravely Default for the same reason. I actually didn't pick up Bravely Default 2 on Switch, but that was another case of just not having room in my life for a JRPG at that point. But, you know, the original is also very much a game that's 100% battle system and job setups, and just finding interesting tactics. Like, it's not a JRPG you play for reasons other than that. Okay. No, trying to get on top of him with a spin jump, but not really accounting for the twister very well here. We're probably in a bit of trouble. Yeah, center location here makes it fairly simple to dodge the projectiles most of the time. Then you get patterns like this that totally zone you out, and then things get a little trickier. Whoops, sailed right over him. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting fight, positionally speaking. It's very simple in terms of how it's set up, but also very tricky because your window of opportunity is very limited. And yeah, B-Minus, I'm a huge Fire Emblem player. It is something that, like, even back in the GBA era, I was already saying was the thing that people didn't really talk about as top tier Nintendo, but really was. It's always been a very, very important series to me. I've never streamed it, though, because I am a very slow player with Fire Emblem, as you might imagine. That I approach it kind of like how I approach puzzle levels in this game, where I map things out in my head way before I ever commit any kind of move. Like, I basically have the whole turn mapped out before I do anything, and so I don't know if that would be a very interesting streaming experience, especially with all the time I spent in the monastery just fishing and doing other things in Three Houses. But yeah, I've run Three Houses 3 times now, and I've run the DLC once. There's one route that I haven't done yet, but I've been taking a break from it because I think when I go back to it, I want to go in fairly fresh and just map out totally new character setups and approach it a completely different way. We got a choice of power-ups past this checkpoint. Let's go Squirrel. And yeah, it's nice to see Fire Emblem make such a huge comeback. And because I think its future was definitely on the ropes before Awakening came out. And now there's more Fire Emblem than I'm able to catch up on in some ways. Like, I didn't catch up on the Fire Emblem 2 remake. Shadows of Valencia. And, let's see here. I did play a lot of Fates, though. I really loved Fates, especially the Conquest campaign. And, okay, we need to drop him. But in order to drop him, I need to get a little bit closer. Okay, maybe not that close, but it's okay. 3 hits will do the trick. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But yeah, just need to drop him a little more gracefully, I think. And drop him when he's not on top of the twisters. There we go. And Meal64, thank you for the placeholder code. And once again, Hyperion Smokestack. Nice to see a Koopaling boss level from you once again after a long time off. Particularly one that was designed and described to flatter the streamer, who of course has not come anywhere close to the 3-minute time that was posted. But hey, we raised the clear rate, I think. So, thank you for that. Yeah, B-Minutes, I take it you're eagerly awaiting the Pyra amiibo whenever it does come. Speaking of B-Minutes, let's pull you up. I will also catch up on chat to see what I missed. I know that I was kind of skimming throughout some of that boss fight, but welcome to everybody who did come in the meantime. Okay, let's see here. We'll be looking at Kaboom Carnival 3 in just a moment. I'm just catching up on the chat, making sure we're not missing anything really critical. You almost bought the $80 Pyra Figma. Wow. Yeah, I don't tend to get very many collectibles. I told myself when the Amiibo line came out that I was going to have a self-imposed rule of only buying one per Nintendo series. Just to keep things under control. So for example, if I'm getting a Toon Link, which I did because Toon Link was effectively my Smash main in some ways, as you might see from my stream alerts. I told myself that I would get Toon Link, okay, then I'm not going to get Zelda or Ganondorf or whatever, and I just kind of limited myself to one a series and tried to impose that rule. I broke that rule slightly when they released the 8-bit Link and 8-bit Mario, because I just could not resist those. But I found that was the only way that I could kind of keep myself on budget and also not be overrun with collectibles that I can't keep track of. Okay, world record of about 4 minutes. After using the power of Kaboom to survive, we have played parts 1 and 2 of this concept. I'm looking forward to seeing what B-Minutes did with the third. So yeah, Glitch, I can see why you would also be familiar with this level. It is very much your kind of thing as well, with the cannon box. And then we just wait for this. And then we go up. There we go. Except I need to fire to the left over here. Wait, no. I was trying to dash there, and I just didn't quite get that right, but we'll do this. Luckily, we can proceed patiently through this section so far. Now, okay, this will be a little bit timing dependent. No, it won't. We'll just do that. Ah, I see. It is going to be timing dependent because of this here. Nope. And that's going to get me into trouble. No, it's not. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Surprisingly fine, in fact. Oh, forgot the last tap. Nope. And that's the key. You and Glitch are Team Kaboom. I'm not surprised to hear that. And, B minutes. How many amiibo do you have? I just don't really know the scale of what's even available at this point, given that Smash is like up to 70 or 80 characters, up to about 80 characters at this point, and then you have all of the other individual sets as well. Like you've got the champions for Breath of the Wild, you've got the Samus Returns Metroid, and all that stuff. Part 3 of 5 in a Kaboom Saga. Okay, so that's going to hit the P-switch because that comes out of the pipe. Let me just think about what the P-switch was even getting me. Nope. Okay. Never mind. You can stop this guy. Oh, P-door. Okay, okay. I didn't understand the bit with the P-door. I think I am dead, though, because I don't have a way to get back over. Yeah. Alright. Let's do this once again. Yeah, ground stomp on this is actually surprisingly useful. Okay. That did not work out the way I hoped. Did it? Unless I... Okay, let's rethink this. Let's rethink this. I'm not paying enough attention. I want to hit the on-off switch, but then it'll activate the P switch at the same time. If we do that, the objective is to figure out how to hit the on-off switch from the lower location between the two gates. That's going to require some kind of additional deflection, I think, unless there's something to do with the blast radius down here with the on-off. I don't think so. So yeah, you get a P-switch, you can go down, but then I need some way to get across that gate, and I guessed you would just need to fire a second shot and go. Nope, not like that. Not like this. You have 119 amiibo. Wow, that's incredible. I actually did go to the flagship Nintendo retail location in New York a few years ago, and at the time they did have a case that had the entirety of the amiibo line that had been released so far. I think at that point it was not yet up to 119 in total. So that is impressive. Very, very impressive, B-minutes. Like, it's not going to take you very long to get up to 1 amiibo per Shakespeare sonnet, which is going to be an impressive accomplishment. Okay, let's pay attention to this. I need to figure out how to get across this. Okay, that does work. Okay, yeah, no, I was wondering about that blast radius and whether the wall would actually be within that 1-tile radius of that on-off block. But that seemed to work because that was actually the maximum extent, I think, of the cannonball explosion, and so that worked out in a way that I did not really anticipate. Let's not do that. That's going to cause problems. Okay, so we will want to just get on top of this. I'll switch over there. Yeah, we just head over here. And whoops, no, not yet. We can do this shot like that. Just duck underneath. Can also do that. 3 coins here. You've been reading the songs on stream. Oh, you've been doing them in order. Okay, yeah, I think I know you've been doing it, but I didn't know how you'd been structuring that. You told me that you were also reading them, so. Okay. Let's do that. Nope, we'll have to redo this. Let's just redo it. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think about how many amiibo I have. I have fewer than a dozen, I think. But like I said, I did exercise a little bit of self-control from the beginning, just out of necessity, because I knew that was likely to be a problem if I didn't set ground rules way ahead of time. And, yeah, here we go. Team Bard, yeah, I guess, B-Minutes, we chose a good subtitle for my viewer level stream today for your purposes. Because I just sort of plucked that one out a few minutes before the stream for no particular reason, but then I guess it befits your own specialty very well. Okay, so this pushes you over, so what we want to do is we want to deflect, hit the on-off switch like this, and then that's a bad idea. Let's duck through that. However, you do need to do that eventually in order to get through to Kedor. So we'll do that, but not until I am through here. Interesting that this on-off switch is accessible. I guess that might eventually get you back out safely as a bit of block prevention, but I'm not really sure. What is this? 1-up. Okay, we'll take it. The rarest amiibo is the gold Mega Man 11 amiibo. I don't think I knew that existed, and I did play Mega Man 11 at launch. Oh, it was an award for a contest. Okay, that's why I didn't know it existed. We have a serious collector here who knows what's going on with all of that. No, let's... we need to deflect through the pipe, I think. There we go. And, alright, so once again, we fire here. We can probably fire from this side. And then we go through this way. Okay. But then I would need to reset. Okay. Yeah, I guess we need to follow that up with a second shot. We have 2 shots going through the pipe, and we just have them in quick succession. I guess that's what's happening here. Release this, and then you fire 2 shots. Not that early. But that is the right idea, if I timed that out properly. Rarest normal amiibo is probably the Cubby. Yeah. Because that never left Japan, right? Like, didn't they only issue that for a physical Box Boy release? That was Japan only. Because I don't think Box Boy ever had any kind of physical edition of any sort in North America or Europe, as far as I recall. Okay, let's do it this way again. It's going to be double shot. And then that's great. Yeah. Come down here. I like how naked pipes actually generally look much better in the 3D world just because they have a fully rounded base. Although sometimes they can interfere with the artwork a little bit if you have the base just out of alignment with how you want to do a nice straight strip of ground. Okay, so we do this on-off switch on the other side. 2 shots again, I guess. There we go. Yeah, I'm not surprised that, as far as I know, they've kind of stopped doing the P2 variants. I don't think they ever had a P2 Byleth, for instance, did they? I don't know, I haven't really been following this, so... And okay. We just need to... Well, okay. Probably not the right way to sneak over, but we'll try something similar. It's not going to be a long walk back, so... One up there. Yeah, because I know a lot of the P2 variants were retailer exclusive in many regions, and that would just make them in a special pain to collect. Well, you need to do a double shot here, let's remember that. Okay. There we go. Then, same idea here, let's... fire that, fire that. Nope. Okay, I did do this a little bit better the last time, and it was something different that I was doing. Maybe firing this one first, and then, yeah, there we go. So you get that double deflection. Yeah, B minutes, it would be really unfortunate if we didn't have separate figures for them. Although I could see them potentially being like a 2-in-1, but maybe not, just given the complexity of that. But in B minutes, I would assume that you've played Torna to Golden Country as well, since you seem to be a pretty big Xeno fan. Not a good idea. We have a mushroom. The mushroom is going to allow me to take 2 points of damage instead of 1, which potentially allows me to just... Oh, watch this. No, I was hoping to roll over here after taking damage, and that was... If you just hit the on-off switch once, though, that's good enough. Like, if you have invincibility frames there, and then you hit the on-off switch by rolling, you are actually home free from that point. So I feel like that might actually be the right method. Yeah, it's something to trick you out at the end. You think that we'll get one each because each numbered fighter is their own figure. Okay. I didn't know about the number system for Pyra and Mythra, actually. I just haven't been following Smash closely enough lately. I was really glad they got into Smash, especially with the implementation that we had. After all that effort to separate Zelda and Sheik. I mean, Pyra and Mythra does need that to work thematically as a concept, though. I think that that was the way to do it. But I also never really spent much time playing with them. I'm a few characters behind in terms of actually playing Smash. Because it was one of those things where I just mostly played Smash Ultimate in single player anyway, like doing the spirit fights, doing the classic modes, which I thought were pretty involved, but because I wasn't really keeping up with the multiplayer side constantly, I just wasn't playing it that much in the long run. Okay. I think you do have to take damage here. I think that's what this mushroom is all about. I believe this is going to be a damage boost, or you... No. Here's what it is. You hit this brick, and then it's the cannon box. No, it's the bullet. Okay. Close enough. Oh, like you were saying, the intended thing is to break the brick. Yeah, I was looking at that brick pretty much while I was dying in previous attempts. You don't think you can roll into an on-off in a one-tile space. Yeah, Glitch, I'm thinking about that. I think you might be right. I feel like this is something that you've tested. But anyway, thank you, B-Minutes. And thank you to the patience of everybody still in the queue. And next and sub-next are pretty much going to be equivalent. It is going to be Glitch. The ending is a little peek at part 4. Okay, excellent. So, Glitch, let's take a look at something different for once. So, some of you who have been around in previous weeks may have seen Glitch's boss rush extravaganza that we were wiping out on again and again. We did, in fact, clear that last night and actually clear that relatively quickly. So, we're going to take a look at a short new boss concept today. It's going to be blue platform boss parkour. And unusually for Glitch, it's not going to be in 3D world. It's going to be in the Super Mario World style. In part 4, you lost your Kaboom hat. Okay, I see. So they are connected. Waiter, there is a boss in my blue platform parkour. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, B-Minutes, I did all of the original 12-level Gunhead series from Glitch last year. The new one, I've done some of it, I think. I've done early versions of a few of the levels. If I remember correctly, okay. We got the hammer over here. The hammer is just going to do its thing. I see a door that resets you all the way around, but not a way to get the key until the bomb blows up each set of blocks. I see. So you need to do the circuit and reset through the door until the bomb is all the way at the bottom, and then the bomb will give you the key once you reset through everything. So you just need to do the cycle again and again. And the spawn block is going to change some things, because destroying the bricks is going to spawn some additional things like these cannons and that Podoboo there. Wow, okay, glad we got that bounce on a cannonball. That was unexpected. As a last-minute save. The hammer, however, is the thing really zoning us out. You're playing through them now, okay. Well, I mean, B-Minutes from designing your own levels, I'm sure you've had plenty of practice with a cannon box by now, so I'm sure you're doing just fine. And yeah, Glitch, this is a really interesting concept, just having spawn blocks gradually escalate. The hammer, of course, is just a bit of a source of chaos. It's just like one hammer in the middle, and he's probably the hardest thing to deal with here. Whoops. Okay. And yeah, Glitch, if you are doing polishing pass on certain things, if you want me to do a beta test on them, you know where to go. Okay. Bouncing on a cannonball was intentional that time because I knew I needed to slow down there slightly. Whoa, okay. Maybe I do need to let that platform go down a bit before the firebar sweeps over, just to give myself a little bit more headroom against the Podoboo that's bouncing around on the top left. Whoops. Everyone makes blue platform levels, and you were curious if you can turn that into a boss fight. Yeah, I really like the steady escalation of this just using the reset property. I mean, I'm sure it will get a little bit chaotic once we unblock everything on the way down, but for now... And of course, the hammer is going to face you. There is always a little bit of RNG with the hammer if it's able to jump around, but if it's in that controlled position, I think it is just going to chuck in its facing direction, and so its movement should not be as hard to predict as usual. Yeah, the thing about this cycle is that the blue platforms make the cycle quick enough that it works quite well for an escalating boss fight because the circuits are just so quick, right? Like, the resets are just a very organic part of your movement. You know exactly what's coming, you know exactly what it is you have to do at a glance, so... Like, I thought just even on the first cycle through this room that the flow of this was very clear, although of course I didn't expect how much stuff was going to spawn on the right side. As you can see, we are getting zoned out a little bit by both the fire bar and the fire on the top left. Minutes, as far as pitch shifter levels go, I actually do see what you're talking about here. Except it doesn't have that mandatory training room that's often before those pitch shifter fights, where you learn to recognize a lot of them after a while, I think, because there is a lot of concept reuse between the different randomizer layouts, with some interesting variations along the way, of course. Okay, let's get up here. Let's hop on down. Yeah, just feeling a little bit slippery on platforms from time to time. We'll just have to fix that up. Yeah, stalling for that long is not going to work due to the firebar. You really do recognize makers' styles after a while when they submit a lot to the stream. Some more so than others, but even when some people make radically different levels, you can still detect that is by a person with a shared mindset. Oh, missed a door. Okay. And we'll just gently sink into the abyss. I think I've seen some of Earthquake's levels before. I don't think I've seen the Weird Akua, or however they pronounce it. Don't think I've met them here. But just because of the times that I run at, there are a fair number of makers who don't wind up dropping by here, who are rather prolific on other channels. We've got a pretty good regular group here, though, in terms of, you know, people who make fun stuff for me to play. Every time I watch somebody else's viewer level stream, as I always say, I'm even more impressed with the quality that I get on mine. I should really make more stuff. I feel like I've gotten into this thing since I started streaming, where I do a lot of playing, but not really spending much time in the editor to compensate. I do have something new coming out fairly soon. I'm just kind of getting it debugged right now, so we'll have a new level to show you folks in due course. And I've got a lot of stuff that's just sitting unfinished in my editor. You know, concepts that never really became full levels. Because of various reasons. And yeah, Glitch, I can tell you enjoy making. There are definitely people, speaking of Kaizo B-Minutes, there are definitely people on this channel who have told me that trying to make a sort of light Kaizo level is the best way to learn Kaizo. Because while you're tuning things, you are repeatedly trying some of those basic tricks that you're setting up. Okay, we're still getting zoned out there. I feel like maybe I need to go a little bit faster or further off that last edge. Okay, no, I see. I'm just missing that jump. I don't know why. Consistently missing that. Yeah, I mean, this game is absolutely drowning in content if you know where to look for it. Whoa, didn't expect to skip over to that platform. However, skipping over to that platform saves enough time that I think it's actually going to help, unless, of course, I get whacked with a hammer. But now I can just do a short hop over to hammer, and that would be fine. I actually like the idea of skipping to that platform for some of the future cycles, because it will give me a little bit more time to plan jumps before the fire bar catches up to me. So we'll try to do that on as many cycles as we can. Yeah, that gives me significantly more room. I may need extra time to let the bomb go off. Yeah, as it gets lower in the layout, that's very true. But I'm just 2 bomb detonations away from the key, as you can see there. I'm watching the left side column for some of that from time to time, and I do see that I'm fairly close. But the idea is that if I get here quickly, then I can actually descend a little bit on that second last platform if I need a little bit more headroom. I don't know if that timing is going to work out, but that's not going to work out. Okay. Yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea if I repeatedly get zoned out by the hammer. But for certain parts of this, this is actually maybe not the worst approach. I needed a little bit more of a dash there. Okay. Now we do this. But yeah, in some ways, the slightly frightening thing about this game is that I just don't see myself burning out on it that much as a player anytime soon. There's just so much to do at any given time, and if you're not just aimlessly browsing Endless or Versus or any of those non-curated modes, you can have a consistently good experience just from, you know, following makers you like and just being in contact with people who make fun things. There's always a lot of variety to go around, and I find that in most cases, I'd rather play Mario Maker than try new games entirely, given the choice. And so, okay, let's fix that a bit. I was wondering how to adjust after that cannonball hit, and so we'll go back and try it. Yeah, Hyperion, that's true. Definitely a bit of a snipe there. That was almost right. I was a little late on that timing, but the spacing was actually pretty good in terms of getting to descend just a little bit before we jump over. Okay, 2 cycles here. And yeah, that was going to be a problem because I got slowed down a little bit too much there. Yeah, there is a bit of momentum issue that shows up on the second last platform if I get zoned out by the cannonball. So once the cannons come up, I might have to revert to the old method, but we'll try it a few times until we find a good pathway. Okay. Let's watch that hammer timing. And yeah, like I've said a few times on the stream, one of the great disappointments of support being cut for this stream, for this game so early, is just that the updates were getting better and better. Like, the content and the course elements were better designed with each patch. And it would have been really interesting to see what else they could have implemented given the time. Yeah, getting sniped all over the place here, that's very true. I mean, at this point, I think the longevity is probably going to be pretty good. The main threat to it is just how aggressively Nintendo has been deleting stuff that gets reported as a glitch. Because that's really choking off a lot of the more interesting tech that we've been seeing. And that's probably a bigger threat to the long-term lifespan of this game more than anything. You know, because it's turning away the makers who really are experimenting and tricking out the engine. Yeah, with a maker game like this, I don't know how I'd feel about paid content. I think from the player's perspective, everything should be accessible, and if you're paying for parts of the tool set, like if you're paying for additional things you can do as a maker, I don't know if they'd actually get the right kind of return on investment from that simply because of the amount of people who play but don't make anything. I think it makes more sense to do these things as a free update and just try to continue driving things like the online subscription, for instance. And in some cases, driving people to get new accounts because of that lousy 100 level cap, which, I mean, I'm nowhere close to it. I've got very few uploads, but I've known several people who are still active in this game who have had to open up additional accounts or family plans just to get over the 100 upload limit. So yeah, I'm not too fond of the idea of having any kind of separation of the player base with maker-oriented games. I think that often that leads to some issues with the community in the long run, even if it's a non-competitive game like this one. And Glitch, you're up to 80 levels? Yeah. That is getting pretty close to Capo. Okay, we are fairly close in this phase. Just need to survive maybe 2 more cycles. Yeah, if I do shorter jumps with the original pattern of going to the bottom right, then I'm fine. I just need to do a nice reversal. Now, yeah, let's do this. I mean, I'm not fond of the idea of paying into the Switch Online subscription in the first place. I feel like that was something that Nintendo got away with because they knew everybody would buy in, including myself. I'm glad that we get a fair bit of value off of the classic systems on it, though. I've actually put in a ton of time in the Super Nintendo and NES libraries on the Switch. And I think it actually is a better model for those games than the a la carte Virtual Console that we had previously. Even though the selection is, of course, comparatively limited, like all my GBA stuff is stuck on Wii U. I felt like the GBA actually benefited from the Wii U more than any other system because you could use the gamepad basically like a Game Boy Ultra. And yeah, Hyperion, it's true that, you know, at least the online subscription isn't that much of a hit. Like, I barely feel it. It's more the principle of the thing. That's, I think, is one of those things that did probably choke off this game a little bit. That's, obviously you have tons of people who are paying in constantly and staying subscribed and playing. But this is one of those games where the bigger the player base you have, the better, right? In some ways, just to get more talent in the system, even if you get a lot more garbage in the system as well. And allowing people to kind of dabble in it on a casual basis, especially with how people have things like their family's account set up, would have made this a lot more lively, I think. I mean, Mario Maker is drowning in content either way. I don't think that the impact is too significant, but there is a way in which I think Mario Maker 2 seemed to have hit a saturation point where it reached its potential player base pretty early. Like, you don't see that many latecomers get into this game. You see a lot of people who were excited about it from day one, or who came in from the previous game, or who watched a lot of YouTube of the previous game, and they knew they wanted to play this. And in some cases, they stuck around. But I don't know if it's seeing very many new adopters, and if you look at Nintendo's sales figures, you'll see that it has kind of plateaued. You know, the last time I went back to Super Mario RPG, I was a little disappointed with it. I remember loving it originally. I first played it not on original hardware, but in the early 2000s when I was catching up on a lot of the JRPG library. And I feel like it has been kind of tidied up and superseded in many ways, where there's a lot of stuff that's a little rough about it. Like, you can really tell it's a Square game, though. For better or for worse. And it's very unique for that reason, that it's less, I guess, stylistically strict than a lot of Mario spin-off games these days, but... Okay, there we go. But there are a couple of ways that I don't think Super Mario RPG holds up quite as well as some of the other big classics of the mid-90s. I've actually not played Demon's Crest. I understand that it is in the online library and I could just try it at any time, but I don't know it. Whoops. And you're telling me it is glorious. Okay, we'll have to take a look at some point. Yeah, my streaming plans are pretty full between now up to Metroid Dread in October, but after that we'll be looking into maybe doing some other games and some other classic content. One thing I want to do a stream of at some point, in fact, is Star Fox 2. It's something that's been at the back of my mind for a while, is something I'd like to do. Oops. And Glitch, you said your sibling just got into this game and you're glad they did, yeah. Always good to recruit some additional people. And yeah, you know, as I think we were discussing with somebody else yesterday, the thing you have to remember about Mario Maker 1 was that it was active and constantly receiving new ideas and new discoveries all the way up until the month that Maker 2 launched, when the player base dropped out. We're not going to run out of stuff in this game. Although Nintendo certainly makes that difficult with how aggressively they do some of the deletions. And of course, one thing we had been talking about on the stream recently is just that I think a huge part of the player base did get lost with the removal of the Mystery Mushroom. Because people who want to make thematic levels, story levels, you know, things that you play for the flavor rather than for the mechanics so much, they pretty much just got dropped from Mario Maker in a big way. And that's a big side of the game that I think a lot of people do miss. Whoops. And yeah, once I actually find my copy of Maker 1, at some point I do want to do a Maker 1 stream. There are some technical issues to sort out, and I also need to find my game. I finally located my Wii U, and then I located the gamepad, and then I located the chargers, you know, the AC adapters, things are all over the place because I left my Wii U with family before the pandemic, and I thought, okay, that's easy, I'll just get it back soon. And because of the pandemic, I was separated from my stuff for so long that everything just got moved around and separated in all these complicated configurations. And so now I'm trying to piece everything back together so I can, at some point, do some Maker 1 content here. Because I didn't start streaming until 2020, and so there's a lot of stuff that I never got to record. That was a big part of my Maker 1 experience. Yeah, streaming to Wii U is a quest. One of the things that you have to keep in mind, too, is that the Wii U gamepad communicates with the Wii U over the 5 GHz Wi-Fi frequency. Because the Wii U was released during a time when most people were still on the 2.4 gig networks, which, of course, run into trouble with microwave ovens and other such devices. Glitch, I am very close on this, so I do want to stick with this a little bit longer, but probably not too much longer, because there is a queue behind you. But I feel like we can do this. I've been on the last phase a few times recently. So the issue with the Wii U gamepad is that if you have a lot of your equipment packed together closely, it does cause Wi-Fi interference if you have most of your stuff on a 5 gig band. Which is a big problem for streaming, as you might imagine. You got a Mario Maker Special Edition with Amiibo, wow, okay. Oh, with the 8-bit Amiibo, right? Yeah, because there was the one that had the actual classic color scheme and the one with the blue overalls color scheme. I do remember that. I have the one with the classic color scheme, the 8-bit Mario. That gives you access to the Big Mushroom and the CRT filter in the first game. Whoops. Thought I would jump on that cannonball, and that was wrong. And yeah, Glitch, I do know that this is the only room. I was able to discern that, I think, just from seeing the record near the beginning. I mean, I didn't know that for sure, but I felt like it was probably the case. Given that you told me it was just a single boss concept. And yeah, we had seen the block for the key blow up a few times. I just haven't survived that pass yet. Okay, nope, missed that. And yeah, you do have to filter with both 8-bit Amiibo, that's very true. Yeah, some really interesting stuff in the first game that I think just made it have a totally different character than this one. I think it caught people by surprise just how different Maker 2 would be, even though it is in keeping with a lot of Nintendo series traditionally, that they wouldn't just build on each other in a linear fashion, but they would each do something a little bit idiosyncratic. I think it was a much bigger expectation going in that everything in Maker 1 would just be easily ported. It turned out not to be the case at all. Okay, let's go down here. But yeah, that's the intention anyway, Maker 1 stream at some point. Mail64, I sort of expected that at least some of the Amiibo costumes would drop out due to licensing arrangements for some of the stranger stuff that was, you know, affiliated with Japanese game shows or other things that were just temporary partnerships that might not have been renewed. But yeah, the Mystery Mushroom was a really conspicuous absence in the early trailers. And it seemed like it might have been an accommodation for multiplayer, but as somebody who doesn't really play Versus, I mean, I know a lot of people enjoy Versus and that it has a big community behind it as well. Also tons of streaming content that it provides. But I felt like a lot of the compromises made for Versus did take away from the solo experience. You know, you have that box over the arrow at the start, and you have that probably contributing to the loss of the mystery mushroom, among other factors. Okay, down we go. No, I'm still slipping on that last jump. It's probably because I'm not accounting properly for the movement of that platform as I'm going over that lip at the end. I'm always just a little bit late because I'm not accounting for its flotation. Yeah, I'm just misreading this second last platform because I'm not accounting for its height as something that is in flux. And you do need a dash off the last one, otherwise you just hit the ceiling. And yeah, no worries about lurking, Mail64. I know I've been taking forever on this one, but we'll get through the queue soon enough, I'm sure. There we go. Much nicer jump there. We'll hopefully repeat that for future cycles. Yeah, maybe hitting the cannonball for some of the later cycles is a bad idea, just given the timing on that. There we go. Let's go through the correct door. I nearly reset through the center one. Ah, fine, whatever. There we go. And Kaio Henif, if I've pronounced that correctly, thank you for Chain Chomp Empire. We'll hopefully get to you soon enough, especially now that we've cleared this one that we've been on for well over half an hour, I think. Not that long, actually. Considering that everything was timed past that checkpoint. I think just given how action-packed it was and how quick the cycles were, it felt like I spent a lot longer on it than I did. Anyway, thank you for that, Glitch. I think it's a great concept. I think that very often some of the element dodging in your levels can get pretty dense and pretty chaotic, but in this case, this one was short enough in complexity to be something that you can master without feeling like you're just leaving it up to chance or luck. So, yeah, very pleasant to just kind of refine our method and our pattern as we go. Nuku Kaza, let's take a look at NTW. RLY. Yeah, and like I was saying, the RNG on the hammer is much less severe when it has a fixed location on top of that muncher, when it's also just tracking your facing location. You know, you have to account for the hammer height, but at least you know where it's standing and which direction it's going to be throwing in. Okay. Shockingly high clear rate for a Nuku Kaza P-Balloon level. And I guess that's because it's very heavy under resets. Royru with a 2:22 record on this one too. Use ice blocks for the lineup, red pipe resets, blue pipe regresses. Well, we'll see how that works. And yeah, thank you very much for dropping by once again, Glitch. And let's play Nuku Kazas. Okay, red pipe is a reset. You use the ice block to align yourself. What's spawning the P-Balloon, if anything? Okay, we probably go down the red pipe for P-Balloon or yellow pipe. Let's see here. Ah, this is tutorial room. That's reset. This is progress. Okay. And this is regress. Now, why would we want to regress ever? We'll see. Maybe there are some locations where that tricks you out accidentally, so. Okay, that shows you how to reset, but then what does the blue pipe regress to? Ah, okay. It sends you all the way back if you have to die in this section, but wish to preserve the attempt. I see. I understand that. And this, I guess, would also be guarded? No, that's just more P-Balloons. Okay, let's bump the floor here. And let's bump the ice block when it comes down. And then pressing up into the door will just send you in automatically. Oh, P-blocks, ice blocks going everywhere. Did I have to go fast? I feel like because of the way the ice blocks drop off once that we did have to go fast. So why don't we just reset through this guy here, given that we're right at the start of the room, and we'll just go up right away. And yeah, I guess I did have to go pretty quickly and just boost across in order to catch the next one, so it is going to be time sensitive. Alright, let's align here. And yeah, this is going to be fairly generous in terms of giving me lots of ice blocks to work with, but then we will need to be quick, starting with the next segment. Nope. Alright, let's see how we do. Nope, I was trying to turn and then boost, but then the turning radius got thrown off by that. I do need to make sure I straighten myself out first before I attempt to boost any further. And yeah, we can just turn right away onto pipe when coming out. That does align me properly. Doing this is not going to do much for me, given that we need the P-balloon to progress. Let's wait for the next one. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Went rather well, actually. Okay. Oh, no, a little bit late. We just need to boost gently when we have the opportunity to do so. Okay, let's grab the P-balloon once again. Again. Yeah, we don't want to boost into the block because of that rebound. Nope. Yeah, the falling block that crushed me just now. Definitely a bit of an edge case scenario. I mean, it is going to reset you all the way anyway, though, right? So. I mean, I know it doesn't feel great, but I didn't feel like I was losing anything by being whacked there, although I guess it would have connected me to a different blue pipe segment, perhaps, and not sent me back quite as far. Looking at how that's set up, because you have a different regress pipe there, and yeah. Okay. Back up we go. Nope, a little bit off. Yeah, I didn't quite tap that first one accurately, I think. Well, we made it decently far. I think I can do it again. Just need to strategically boost in certain locations. And then slow down just long enough to nudge yourself against the next thing, so. Nope. A little bit off there. Well, let's get back down before we get crushed. And let's try this one again. Nope. We need a P-balloon. And that's going to reset me even further, so. Serves me right for not having the P-balloon. Nope. Yeah, you can get crushed in a couple of different locations here. I guess that would have been a slope push, though, that one there. So that would not have been so much of an issue. As far as I'm aware. Nope. Let's not get impatient here. I do need to plan this out somewhat carefully. Nope. Let's back down and just play this somewhat methodically. Okay, up we go. No, do have to do a bit of a boost upwards. Get into that room. And then the next room after that, we need to face down immediately. That's something to remember as well. Okay, boost over there. Nope. A little bit too early on that boost before my turning was complete. Easy problem to fix, I think. But you never know with concepts like this one. Nope. Yeah, I'm actually pretty comfortable with these early rooms despite the mistakes I'm making along the way. I don't feel like I'm really losing to things outside of my control, just some mistakes that are avoidable if I'm careful. Nope. Sometimes I do have a little bit of trouble seeing that hitbox on the push, simply because the P-balloon exceeds its collision bounds by so many pixels. How many exactly, I'm not sure, but I'm sure Lukaza knows the answer to that. Oh, nope, that was a miss. Oh, okay, no, we bumped that by mistake. Bumped that a little too aggressively on the end, and to deal with the deflection. Here we go. Nope, accidentally turned. And up. Okay. There we go. Looking good. Now we go down right away. Nope. Let's not forget that people in this time. That's going to save me, well, just the entryway, I guess. So you have to repeat most of this, but it's okay. We can do this. Nope, too late on the push there, as I was starting up again from 0. And okay, here we go. I'm surprised all of this is even working, given that I feel like I haven't really been getting some of these collisions. But perhaps I'm just wrong about that. And oh, well, nope, that bump is going to be an issue. Let's reset this room only, because I'm able to do that. Team P-balloon. Okay. Nope. Big loss there right before checkpoint. Luckily, we're only regressing by one room at a time, just because of the pipe setup here. This could have been a lot more punishing if we still had pipe stacking like we did in Maker 1, and had those many-to-one exits that used to be all over the place. Okay, let's not die to this stuff. And that is a checkpoint. A boss. Interesting. Oh, I see. It's a chase. Okay. Yeah, that was a shocking start. Didn't really feel like I had enough time to deal with this guy here. That's okay. It's a quick reset. So I'm not overly concerned, but... Nope. I mean, basically the same kind of concept. It's just that you have much tighter turnaround time, as it were, in terms of making sure you move right away after you get the bump. And welcome back, Mel64. We did, in fact, make progress while you were gone. Nope. Yeah, you need to turn very quickly. Nope. So the issue is that I'm doing that clockwise turn here, and I think it's maybe not the right idea. I don't know how else to be doing it, because I need to be facing left pretty much right away after this pushes me. Yeah, no, the issue here is that you have this massive spin that's going on at the very beginning. And it's taking me too low before I've actually spun around properly. And I think, yeah, you actually don't need to spin around all the way before you do the rotation. Okay. Hey, we actually made it. That was relatively painless for a P-Balloon level. So, yeah, nice to just get a few of those straightaways done quickly and just progress through that last room pretty cleanly with some time to spare before the next block. It was just when I realized that I should not necessarily be facing the ice block that I'm colliding into. Like, I don't need to stress out about that so much if I am just going to get a collision anyway as I'm bumping in that direction. If that makes any sense. So, surprisingly good time for me, given, of course, that would just be past checkpoint, I guess. So that is how that would be calculated. Let's mark that as a win. I mean, the quick turn, I didn't really have many options there, to be honest. Just had to adapt and fix the mistake I was making. Hyperion, since you are a repeat, I'm just going to check for next for a few people in the queue first before we grab sub next. But Hyperion, if you do need to take off at some point, let me know and we'll make sure we pull in your sub privilege. I just want to make sure people who have been waiting for a while do get played. So, Satamil, if you would like to check in, I know you were asking me about my Kaizo abilities much earlier in the stream, if you are still here. And if you check in the chat, we will pull you in. I think Satamil might be gone. And if Satamil is gone, we will pull in All Out Faye, who I believe is still here, but we'll check that. So, last call for Satamil. And if we ever make some mistakes with removing people prematurely, let me know and we'll try to accommodate you. All Out Faye, if you would like to check in. I know you checked your queue position not too long ago. So if you'd like to speak in chat, we will bring you in. Otherwise, we will proceed to Mail 64. Mail 64, if you need to replace a placeholder code, you should probably do it fairly soon. Because you might be next, depending on whether All Out Faye is actually still hanging out with us. I do see All Out Faye listed as being in chat, so I will bump back one spot if there is no check-in here. Just in case we have a lurker. Or somebody who's gone AFK. Okay, in that case it's going to be Mail64, who I'm pretty sure is here. From just having said GG a minute ago. So if this is a placeholder code, we'll check your profile. I don't know if you have replaced it already or if you just want me to check your profile for the last level you say. Okay. Sorry, I just hit the wrong button. That's what happens when I'm... Oh, All Out Faye is here. Okay. Mail64, since All Out Faye did check in, we will do All Out Faye first. Yeah, no worries about that. I figured you were probably AFK or just away from the chat somehow, so... Because I did see you online, so... We'll do it in that order instead, and since we haven't actually started the next one yet. So yeah, All Out Faye, we're fairly flexible how we run things here, just to make sure we have people attending when their levels are brought up. This is, the key is Thwomp. I see a 0.19 here, which tells me that we might not be able to finish. But we'll give it a try. Coins are friends, not foes. Save them from this nasty little cavey cave. 2 people have done it. One of them has done it in 2 minute 34. All the way since September of 2020. So we'll see why it is that this has this incredibly low clear rate. And Hyperion Smokestack, oh, you sent me a puzzle, okay. And because you're the creator, you will of course not be saving me from any issues that we have with tunnel vision. Oh, okay. Spike balls all over the place. Let's make sure we count for that. The key is Swamp. 50 coin over here. Okay. So as long as we get here quickly, spike balls should not actually be an issue. I feel like there was a way to do a cat climb up to the top level, in fact. But that we no longer have the cat, and that's... This will be a little bit trickier. Okay, left. Interesting. That is not what I expected. But we can go here. Notice that door that is under the question block, and that will have to account for Podoboos when we do get through that door, so we don't die. Goomba Hat, wonderful. Goomba Hat is going to drop the Podoboos out of existence, but also prevent me from rolling into these bricks. So we had better come back. I mean, the Podoboos don't completely drop out, they drop to the lowest level there. But this will diffuse any of the spikes that we had here. Yeah, I guess you can't really get to that position with a cat after all. I was trying to inspect that carefully. This little ding-dong trap here is no longer applicable. I feel like we might have to take damage and do a roll, but we'll see about that, and then we'll do this in a different order if it is in fact something that's dependent on losing the Goomba Hat, as I suspect is the case. So, at least we know where that is. And we do have a fairly easy way to take damage, I think. I just need to head up to the spikes and collide with them. You're telling me also that the key is Thwomp, and we don't know what that's all about yet. Oh, we're also not bopping these guys from the side. Okay, never mind. We can probably touch the creeper, though. There we go. And getting rid of the spikes will, in fact, work to my advantage. Let's get out of here before we get fire on my feet. And we need something big to get through here. One way that we could do it is potentially by diverting a spike ball into this location. I don't know if we can actually do that without the spike balls breaking. I also don't know at this point if I'm able to progress. Feels like I needed the cat, actually, because having the cat would allow me to claw my way through those bricks. So I believe this is going to be a lock. Technically an SD lock if you can take damage. Also, the coins at the very beginning, or the blocks rather, are telling me about 3 keys, so maybe that's a signal that we should be looking for 3 keys. Okay, let's get out of here before the spikes become a problem. And let's not mess around with anything that was on the top right, because I don't think that was relevant. So yeah, it seems like there are a few things here that are dependent on item order in a way that's a little bit trial and error, like you wouldn't necessarily be able to guess that. Bonsai Bill is prevented from spawning because of the Goomba Head. That's actually an interaction that I rarely see with a Goomba Head, in fact. And I've seen most things to do with a Goomba Head, so that's definitely a bit of a rarity there. Mursame Castle is going to play here to signify that it's crawling with ants. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have lost a cat there, but that's okay. We'll drop some icicles and then continue. Am I able to continue here? Should be able to. And then conveyor belts can pull me forward from here, but then the next conveyor belt will pull me back, which is actually fine because it will allow me to hit the on-off switch nicely. Yeah, possible to damage boost through there if we have the cat available for a great distance. Okay, Hop Chop there is going to be slightly my way. Let's just whack it. Just go through here without dealing with the spikes. So yeah, there are some things here that look like they have a bit of an error, trial and error to them. Also, if we didn't have the Goomba Head, we would have been able to get bullets to shoot here, maybe, since cat bullets would have been able to carve my way through. But I think I do want to have the cat. I also wanted to have the Goomba Hat, but we'll do it without, just in case we can take the cat climb somewhere, or indeed the bonsai, which we totally missed. Alright, let's go through here. And yeah, not having the Goomba Hat is going to be a major hindrance, but it will also create a situation where these jumps are actually slightly easier, I think. Let's do this. And yeah, I need to account for the conveyor belt in that location. I keep forgetting that that's going to take me over that way, so that's okay. Just a few small adjustments here and there, and we should be able to get past that. So yeah, door with a question block. We should be aware of that in case we do wind up with a door. I do see that coin on the left side wall as well, and I've been wondering about what that could potentially get me, but yeah, bullet's just going to get pushed here. That is actually dependent on your snake block timing. It is going to be something that varies depending on the player's actions. Fire is going to come up here, and there's nothing up here, okay. Okay. Let's not get bumped. Let's get rid of as many ants as we can so we can keep the cat. Before we get bumped by anything coming up here on the right side, just to avoid any unpleasant surprises. It doesn't look like you can climb to top ceiling even if you do have the cat. I think that's going to be a bit of a tall order. Given that it might be stitched all the way up top. There are, however, some seemingly open locations here for the cat to do a climb, so we'll keep those in mind as we go. Don't go for that coin on the left side wall, and there's a troll block that you forgot to get rid of. Okay. Yeah, it's generally not a good sign if you don't want to do your own clear check. It depends on what you're building your level for, though, like what the purpose is and what the intended audience is. Generally, as the maker, though, even if you have a really hard level, you do want to be able to consistently clear your own level almost all of the time, I think, even if you have a lot of hard tricks in there, because that's the only way that you can guarantee the mechanisms are actually reliable, and that you are not yourself losing to anything that has an element of randomness. We do have to toggle this, I think, but then we need to watch out for the next icicle. Yeah, we will come up here and actually tap this switch. Okay, conveyor's up top obstructing the ceiling. That's fine. We'll do this because then the conveyor belt will obstruct my position such that I can dodge the next icicle gracefully. So we're going to dodge this one. We're going to activate the next two. We'll rescue this. And we'll drop both together if we can. Okay, good. And then we hit some bombs over the ice before they destroy the ground underneath. Yeah. Checking them to the right side before they destroy everything underneath is going to be a whole trick here. Okay, we did open a path to the checkpoint. That's fairly close to checkpoint. I think we can do it. We probably need a better strategy for the bombs. That did get out of control pretty quickly, so... I think if I can make the first jump over that conveyor segment while keeping the cat suit, we might be in good shape. But I think we actually have a pretty decent path to checkpoint. Also, if you do have the cat suit, you don't need to deal with the bombs. If you do preserve the cat suit up to that point, you can get through to checkpoint without much trouble. Okay. I don't know why I always am tempted to jump there, even though I know something's coming. And Belouga, thank you for the submission of good luck. Okay, let's wait for this guy here. And up we go. So yeah, this is the issue with the cat suit, that I have a little bit of trouble actually getting over here to the on-off switch after that. But I think I can probably duck jump like I did before, and that's great. It'll work. Okay, and then you hit that, and then you go down to the next one here. I drop off of that. Nope, lost a cat. That's okay. We can still get some bombs. And 2 bombs are actually plenty to work with here, as long as I don't die. There we go. Checkpoint. And then we just run for it like this, except we need to know who's holding the key. That guy's holding the key, okay. Except this side swamp here is in my way, so we'll go down here. And then now we do a bit of timed platforming. That's okay. That will be fine. And a lot of stuff going up. Oh, whoops. Totally didn't read the bonsai animation there. I was seeing if there was a path up to the left given the coin placement that trails upwards to the top right. Mail64, do check your S's and 5s. If you have trouble with the code, I'll just take your existing code and search your profile. And Beluga, your level is really hard. Okay, I mean, that substantially decreases my chances of passing it, but we'll give it a try when we get to it. And we'll see just how much of a challenge it's going to be. Alright, and we need to send something up to the top, don't we? And in order to do that, it's going to be this thwomp. No, it's this guy. We need to send that thwomp all the way to the right and drop everything else. We did it fairly easily last time, but yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work here. Once again, another thing that's easier with Catsuit, but we are doing this from checkpoints, so our options for that are a little bit limited. Having the thwomp be obstructed by that first thwomp to the left, though, is something that's going to make that a little bit easier. Like, we drop this guy, and then we immediately try to go up to launch that thwomp over a little bit, except, of course, that position is now well out of place. So yeah, this can be a little bit chaotic simply because a lot of different things can happen with the way the thwomps reposition each other with their stopping positions, so you're not necessarily going to have a consistent pattern in this part of the level. And yeah, Hyperion, I realized that I did do it accidentally the first time, just from the way that various thwomps were being displaced. I didn't think I even used a big thwomp the first time. I thought I just displaced one of the small ones to get it to retract in that location. And maybe that's a smarter thing to do. If you find a way to horizontally displace one of the vertical thwomps that will retract up to that position and then crush the piranha from behind, that could be a little bit better. You reached 7,000 points this week. Is that Maker points? Congratulations in any case. I think the Maker point system is sort of opaque enough that, you know, it's hard to ascribe too much meaning to it in the long term, but it's nice to also progress, though, as a maker, and just see that little metric as a kind of feedback. And congratulations on the new hat. So we managed to get the key that time. After a little while, even if you are watching the thwomp faces, it is a little difficult to keep track of who is vertical and who is horizontal. But if we drop this guy and then go immediately back up... I said if we drop this guy and go immediately back up... yeah, we'll just eventually get through. You'll beat this level before me? Yeah. Congratulations to you if you do achieve that. Very few clears in this one so far. 2 clears from previous players, so... if you're third clear, more power to you. Alright, good shape here. Just keep track of the vertical and horizontal thwomps, and thank you for the follows. Love that one right away. Probably should have done a wall jump, actually, to get on top of the bonsai with time to spare. So yeah, next we drop this guy, and then we go up once again. And that will solve that without too much trouble. There we go. We're getting it now. And we'll skip all that. Oh look, there's the flag. Okay, the B section isn't too bad here. That one up here, though, is going to be a bit of an issue. Conveyor goes back, which means that I think I need to tug the B to the left. Which means we should kill this one, for sure. I definitely want to kill this one, because then we have enough room to move that guy. And then if I move that guy to that slot, I can actually get on top of him. But I wonder if I can actually get through that conveyor in the first place, just by getting into a dash there. I think that's single speed. I wasn't really watching that carefully. Anyway, we may actually get the clear on this, remarkably. It's not nearly as bad as the clear rate suggests, actually. Like, I'm surprised that it's a 0.19 on it. Because a 0.19 tells you that people aren't even giving up on this one very early. They actually are retrying this over and over again and having tons of trouble with it. But maybe, of course, there is some kind of trick at the end that we don't know about if we can't actually get through that B segment the way it's currently set up, so... But yeah, given the clear rate is not nearly as bad as I feared. Okay. Let's drop this guy. Yeah, good. Move him over. Move both of these guys over. Wow. Lots of repositioning going on. There we go. Oh, no, wanted to drop to the left. And all out Faye, I should say. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary. And let's see, let's move this guy over. Whoops. Yeah, you're still pretty new to this game. I mean, it is very much a learning experience. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to pick up about level design just from watching people play the levels and seeing what works and what doesn't when it comes to how they read the various obstacles. Okay. So yeah, that guy got bumped all the way up top. That's actually a big problem. I think that thwomp is going to continue to be an obstruction unless we find some way to get him out. And I don't see a way to get him out because he was pushed all the way up, you see? So I think we have a situation here that's actually unwinnable, unfortunately. And so you do have to look out for things like that when you do create these complex thwomp setups, that it is possible to get into a position where the player is unable to beat the room. Also, it's possible, I think, to just get these thwomps ejected all the way to the left, as we can see. We really wanted to do that. And yeah, Mel64, as you were saying, that configuration was, in fact, a dead end. Yeah, we wanted to drop all of the vertical ones, and then that creates a clear passage like that, once we drop the remaining vertical ones as well. But we'll see. I feel like once we get past this segment, the B segment isn't actually that bad if we just strategize once we get to that bit with the conveyor belt. I think it's doable with the approach that I had. I'm not 100% convinced yet just because that conveyor belt does trick out some of the positioning, but we'll go back to that and we'll see if it works. Okay. There we go. That's going to get it. Let's not die to the verticals now. If we don't die to verticals, we're fine. Okay, great. Respawning through the door here is going to get me nice, simple configuration. Whoa, 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 whoa. Very unfortunate way to go there. Shouldn't be dying to anything like that. Okay, let's move that guy over. Move the verticals down. And just so people are aware, I am likely to close the queue at the end of this level. Assuming we clear it. If we don't clear it, we'll also close it at the end of this level. If you are new here, I do play to the end of the queue whenever I can, which is almost always. There have been very few exceptions in the past. Maybe just one major exception in the past. But if you are in the queue already and you're staying, I will get to you. Because after the queue closing, we usually keep running for at least another hour and a half or so. Okay. So yeah, this will be roughly last call for anybody who wants to submit additional codes and is not already in. Okay. Nope, didn't get obstructed properly that time. Let's move him. There we go. And All Out Faye, after I clear this one, yeah, you can submit the last code if you want. If you want to be our closer for today. But I will definitely be shutting off the queue after that. Usually I just, punch in the next level code and then I close up. Let's kill this guy because he is going to be a pain to deal with otherwise. Let's just wait for him to come back. Let's find a good timing here. Nope. Probably needed to spin on the high jump there. Yeah, Hyperion, I love the tacit assumption that your puzzle is something that I'm going to break. I guess you know me pretty well as a player by now. Okay. Let's get both verticals down, and then... Oh, that guy got pushed all the way back. That's unfortunate. Okay, now we're in a bit of a tricky situation, in that some things are not quite where I'd want them to be. There we go. Let's get both verticals down, and then we are solid. Okay. Alright. Let's pull this guy first. Yeah, a little bit difficult to position him here. I'm gonna let him go a little bit further to the left, or also just slide down. Yeah, high jump like that works. This guy will not be able to outrun him. I do have to kill him. But if I jump up onto that conveyor and then jump right away, I might be able to bomb him. He's really obstructing that location now, though, as you can see. Totally zoning me out. Unless we do that. Nope, was trying to get the jump on him in the last slot, and that just wasn't working. I don't know if that actually reaches the flag, actually, now that I look at that properly. I may need to go through the upper path, regardless. But the upper path looks like it might require something like a cat suit off the Bonsais to actually go up the left side. And so we'll see. I have to read that properly when I get to the bees, because I'm not totally convinced that I can even do that. Yeah, you see that whole coin location up there, and you see how the flag is totally boxed in. I think maybe this is, in fact, a dead end. And we shouldn't even be trying this. No, you do need to drop down, but then when you drop down, you do need a way to get rid of the hard blocks, and we don't have that yet. We don't have a way to deal with it. I think I'd have to wall jump up, and then you would have something else to interact with on the top level. That's probably a mistake, although the other bee at least is so far out of the way that we... no. Mistake. So yeah, All Out Fae, it will take more codes once we clear your current one out. And so you can try resubmitting again at the end. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this one, because right now I don't see what to do with the ending. I do think I need to kill the top bee. If I kill the top bee, I can get through the conveyor, and then I need to do something else to go up to see where we can find a way to blast through the hard blocks. And okay. Here we go. Nope. And yeah, I mean, I think I can, if I play this room carefully, actually find a pattern that will work most of the time. We do have a specific method that I'm going for, I just don't always execute it very accurately. As you can see here, just not getting within activation range of the top thwomp just yet. But once we do, we can in fact do this consistently. I'm just looking at that coin path and trying to see if anything I do with the bonsais would actually get me up. I feel like I need the cat for it. Unless I need to pull all the bees to the left side or something. That's an interesting idea, in fact, pulling all the bees over to left of the wall. I feel like that actually is an option. If we want to get up to the top coins. Okay, this was a problem. Let's see if we can move this guy. I feel like no matter what I do, that bee is going to stay within range, and so that's a bit of a problem right now. Let's move it out. There we go. Now, can I actually dash over? Yes, I can. The issue is that I don't have a way to break that. Also, this door likely matches up with the door that we saw with the Podoboos at the very start. It might give you hammer. It gives you bullet. Okay. There we go. That's not how to do it. You need hammer. You absolutely need hammer. You also have a key door. And presumably, well, I mean, the level says the thwomp has a key. But if it's something like the big thwomp, you would need... I might need to go somewhere here with the bullet hat, actually. Maybe that was... Oh, I see. Okay, we've got more level to go. Let's see if anything's going to cause me trouble here. Luckily, we didn't actually need the bullet hat. Propeller. Don't know about this. Let me check this location once again just to see where we're going. Red pipe is going to drop you somewhere around here. Yeah, this level is actually a lot longer than I gave it credit for now that we see that there's something going on with the pipes. And then we have Thwomp up here. Thwomp looks like it's the guy with the key. We have multiple key doors because we know that from the beginning where it says you need 3 keys. Okay. So we're going to go up here. And And that takes you all the way back to the beginning. Luckily, we can see this. Checkpoint. Yeah, we're unlikely to finish this, but at least I'm seeing what I can. There's a lot going on here, and some of it is pretty ambitious, but you know, you also do need to... Well, I guess we'll lose the cat and the propeller here. I'll try to make it a little further in this segment, but I will likely stop at that point, just so you know, all out Faye. Let me check how long I've been on this one currently. Yeah, about a little over half an hour or so. That's... We progressed quite far, though. I can see now why it's a very low clear rate, in fact, just because this is surprisingly extensive. But I'm glad we figured out everything up to checkpoint 2. I feel like that was a pretty substantial amount of progress. I also see that because of the skip squeaks in that next segment, that the on-off manipulation is maybe a pattern that we don't understand yet. So we need to stand somewhere. No, we just need to jump up above that Charvarg, get on top of the last segment with wall jumps. We're going to use the 3 Charvargs all the way up to the limits. And that's going to completely zone. Maybe I am able to sneak under. Well, we'll give it a few attempts and then we'll close it down from there. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know how we're supposed to beat the Charvarg timing. I think I'm supposed to wait for the on-off switch. Like, we don't go until now. And then we die anyway, so... There are some things I think that are a bit unguessable about this level, in that you don't actually know the required timings until you die to them. And that's the main issue that I've been having with a lot of this stuff. Okay, we just don't jump to the skip squeaks, and that's actually going to work out well. Unfortunately, we have some issues here. That's going to spread out. Okay, we'll just ride it out. Spike ball is going to do something. Nope. Very close, actually. We got fairly far in this segment, so... Let's push on it just a little bit longer, since we are progressing. So yeah, the trick here is to wait for the first Charvarg. Then we go. And then we get to the right. We do one jump, and then we ride out the rest. So yeah, it's not obvious that you have to do it that way, but we'll just take it for what it is, and this will also give me the opportunity to whack the big fire brother accurately before we run into too much trouble. Once again, shouldn't just go for him. I should actually just duck and then try to dodge him entirely. I don't need to kill him. I'm a little concerned about the stun lock that happens when that guy decides to jump on you, but we'll just try to go a little further, and we do one jump, and then we continue. No need to fuss with the switches. Oh, didn't expect that split there to happen. That was just from some of the on-off activation. So yeah, a bit of a reliability issue rather here, and then because this is going to get me into big trouble as we get into the ducking segment here. That's followed by the exclamation block, just because I don't have much room to work with. Okay, POW block there. Charvargs are going to jump around. POW block. Green pipe here. That drops through. What are we even doing with that? I don't think I see it. Because I don't have a way to activate that unless we have a red POW that's an area activation that we need to get from later on in the level. Like if there's a red POW that we can pick up. And more keys that we don't know how to deal with. Okay. We actually just need to do that the whole way. Very fortunate to have the mushrooms here, by the way. Although we're going to get sniped there anyway. So at this point, I think I am going to call it on this one. All Out Fae, but thank you for submitting it. I feel like we actually got fairly far, and that if we eventually go back to this one, it's not too hard for me to get back to this location, because I know how everything flows up to this point, and I can execute it somewhat reliably. Yeah, but it seems like we're very close to the end. We do still need to see the 3 keys and how the level flows through the different pipes. I do think that, as I was saying, there are some issues in certain places with just clarity and fairness. I know you're fairly new to this, and one of the things that is often a bit of a trap for people who are very new to this game is to just try to use everything at once in the editor and play with all the toys in the same level. A lot of people, including myself, do fall into that temptation early, but sometimes it creates a result that is a little bit untidy. But thank you for that. I feel like the ambition is clearly there. And it's just a lot of polish and reliability that needs to come in over the long term. So, looking forward to more from you. And like I said, I will close the queue in a moment, but you are welcome to submit a second code. Let's mark that as a loss for now. And thank you for the follow. And yeah, we do lots of playtesting on this channel, so we dig into this with a fair amount of detail. Like I said, I am going to close the queue as soon as I punch in the next code, which is going to be from Male64. I will put it in, and the queue will be closed. World 4-1, just a straightforward trek down the mountain. Well, by your definition of straightforward, I'm expecting lots and lots of branching paths. But I may be wrong. Snow down to hike. Secrets and lives abound, as expected. Okay, at this point we'll be closing. Let me just update my stream information accordingly. Like I said, if you are in the queue and you do stay, I will play your level. Unless some kind of emergency comes up, and it almost never does. Just making sure the bot is going to display properly, that we are closed. And let's reach the plane from the mountaintop. More like a huge area than discrete multiple paths. Yeah, looking forward to it. So for anybody new here, we are going to be back with the viewer levels tomorrow. Ah, yes, I do recognize this. From playing the early version. I don't know if there was a specific path you wanted me to look at this time. I recognize it, but I don't actually remember much about what I did. Because I think you showed me something that was in a very germinal state at the time. Like you had a lot of stuff that was still left to be done. Okay. Sure, let's go down. And the start is the only thing left. Yeah, I guess you developed it pretty considerably then. Let's come down here, drop the P-switch for some reason, and then we will drop down to the lower level. Probably should have hit that question block, but that's okay. We eliminated everything obstructing the P-switch, so I can just go down without too much trouble. Thwomp is going to break everything to the right side if we activate it, so let's activate it if we can. And see where this takes me. Thwomp is going to get very trapped. Poor Thwomp. Okay, that's what happens when you try to snipe me like that. Probably don't need more power-ups, but okay. I like this sort of claw mountain thing that you've got going on here. It is one big hollow, but it's kind of neat. It's like an inverted ski lift or something. Nice bonus music here, of course, for this little location. Good thing about these guys throwing snowballs as well is that we know that it's safe to land on top of them as we're heading down. Yeah, whipping the hammers in midair, not something I normally do. Not something I normally do successfully, but a good thing to keep in mind with the cape. Given that, of course, hammers in this iteration are new to the Super Mario World style, or were in Maker 1. Okay, Shelmet, that's fine. Losing the cape, of course, does restrict my mobility somewhat, but it's not like you have a lot of flying locations here. I can see that the platforms are generally short enough to prevent you from gaining a lot of speed with the cape. And it is a Christmas tree, that's very true. Very piney level all around, actually. Lots of ornaments. Whip this guy, and let's head up the top level. And okay, here we are. Nope. Just got bumped a little bit and I was no longer able to jump because of that corner to the left of that platform. Alright, let's what we can here. Progressive power-ups as usual. In true Nintendo-like fashion. Some of these slopes are a little bit floaty. I know that, you know, there are only so many things you can do with decorations when it comes to topping out the slopes. And creating some connecting points with semi-solids or bridges or mushroom platforms or whatever else. I know that given the slope setup here that you probably don't have too many options. It does feel like everything is kind of in midair though, and I can see that elsewhere where you are able to use the semi-solids to fill things in, you are doing that. That's okay, it's still a very understandable layout, even if I am sniped sometimes by not scrolling something into the camera fast enough. Okay, let's head over here. Yeah, we are on a mountain, but we're not so far up the mountain that we're above the tree line. Okay, goal is over here. Obviously, we'll explore. Oh, never mind. Nothing here. Well, we went down to mountain. I know that mostly we were doing the topside paths. We probably missed a lot of the stuff, like the 30 coin placements and such that were lower down, but thank you for that. And as usual, if you ever want me to revisit it for some specific thing that I didn't see, you let me know. Yeah, the thing I was in the middle of saying earlier is, and I will repeat this at the end of the stream, so tomorrow we will be doing viewer levels again, but I will probably be closing queue at around the 2-hour mark, which is slightly on the early side for me. And if we finish early, we will be doing a preview party for 5 Years of Mario Maker, or 5YMM, which is launching Sunday morning in North America and Sunday evening in Europe. So we'll be featuring a couple of makers who are going to be in the week 1 rotation and just playing some of their older stuff if I have time at the end of tomorrow's viewer level stream. Because that's when a lot of the first uploads are going to be going up, even though the official launch is a few hours after that. So yeah, the levels are going to be absolutely fantastic. I have playtested a few of them early. to do some beta checks for people, but lots and lots to look forward to, and we'll be streaming those levels starting Monday. One other thing I was going to say, Male64, about your level here was that... So I'd never got into Sonic until Sonic Mania. Like, I did play the classics when they were around, but I wasn't particularly into them. And then I found that with Mania, something finally clicked with Sonic design, and I realized that it actually appealed to a lot of the same faculties, as it were, as the Mario design that is around multiple paths, like in the kind of levels that you show me from time to time, where if you do take one branch, you really kind of need to commit to that branch, and you get a general sense of the high section, the middle section, the low section. Here's Crossover Aggress from Smokestack, which I'm told is a puzzle that he expects me to break. And we're going to escape the mansion with Big Brain Navigation. No clears on it so far. Thank you for offering me the first one. And this level is inspired by Sonic-type levels you've seen in Maker 2. Exactly. I thought, actually, the first Ninja level that also had snowballs was kind of surprisingly close to that as well, in style. That's what it reminded me of, mostly. Okay, nothing here. We do have the implicit scroll stop, which tells me that you built on a bottom half. We'll keep that in mind as we get into the subworld, in case that becomes relevant later. Okay, we can pop this thing. P-switch. Okay, we came down to pipe. We have door over to P-switch, door over to P-block, rather. Door over this. Off-switch seems like it'll be made available if we find a way to lower or break the blaster. For example, if you come in with a P-switch activated already, these potentially become coins and drop the blaster and give you access to the on-off switch. Let's go to the P room first. Something on the right side here, it looks like a mecha. This is obviously a scroll break location. And we have this room that's divided in half, where if this is built on the bottom half, we'll check some of the scroll logic as we go. You have a P door on that side. You have question block. You should be able to go over, yeah, because this is, once again, built with the implicit scroll stop. And so, if you hit this guy, you get a mushroom. That doesn't progress just yet, except it allows you to ground pound through this location here. I wonder if it's possible to lock myself. I think it is possible to lock myself. Watch this. No, wall jump in this style. Never mind. Let's not speak too soon. You can wall jump all over the place in this game. And you can still successfully get across even if you break everything. So great, great, great. Let's check stuff like that from time to time. So yeah, no progression through here yet. And Male64, yeah, somebody already had first clear by the time I started that level. I noticed that. So you have another pair of rooms over here. You can see that we have now scrolled to the right of the room where we originally dropped in. So it looks like as you transfer through the doors, you see different rooms depending on the door locations. Yeah, so that's how the scrolls work. So gradually, you're able to see how these different rooms are arranged, assuming that none of them are secretly doubled up or something. Which tells me that if I go back up through the initial pipe, I will respawn with... no, this is still scroll locked on the right side, never mind. So if we enter this door, for instance, we'll see that setup. We enter through here. We also have the mushroom now to get me through here. This doesn't do anything. Also, the blocks will stay destroyed. We don't know if that is creating any kind of scroll... not scroll, but any kind of spawn block. It seems not. The blaster just remains in place. Possibly there's something like a coin underneath. Never mind. Okay, that works too. We have access to the key door, so we don't need to worry too much about that. But let's not do any of this yet until we... The key doors are probably matched. If you match that key door, you can grab the P-switch, and then... Eventually, we need fire. Didn't realize we were that close to timeout already. Oh, because this is a really short timer, actually. I was thinking that's nowhere close to 500 seconds. And that's because it isn't. Yeah, it'll be P-switch door first. Then do this thing. Grab the mushroom. P-door is linked over here. P-door will seal this off. But if you have the off state, something will be unblocked in this location, I think. Also, if the P-switch is active, then we are able to get over here. Yeah, let's leave this part for the time being. We'll do this. And, yeah, let's see. And do we want the on state or the off state? Let's do that with the off state. It's going to block off that P-switch that it looks like I could pick up earlier. Oh, you see, a POW actually spawns in that location. But I think we need to get the P-switch first, and that will require me to start with the on state because of the way that was boxed off. And up here, and I'm glad you're enjoying the spectator experience. So yeah, P-switch, we can carry that. And then we can toggle the on-off state because that will be able to get me over to a whole bunch of stuff. Like that POW that we saw earlier. I don't know what the POW is useful for yet, but it would... Oh, now we actually get to see this whole setup here. Because we finally respawn through this door. The combination of P-switch and off state drops the muncher on top of the bomb and breaks the scroll. And that's fine, we know how to do that, actually. We can do that right now, in fact. Except we need to POW to kill the muncher afterwards, and that's something that it's telling you at the very end. Assuming, of course, that you can't just do that and skip the POW block. I feel like that was unintended. But we did it, so... Yeah, nice to see a scroll puzzle like that. I always like the use of the scroll tech to show off things like moving rooms that, you know, spawn in as you go in and out of doors. I've seen a lot of puzzles sort of in that style, but not in quite some time, in fact, so... Thank you for showing me that, Hyperion. I don't know if you're going to be making any additional changes or fixes, but I hope that was a useful playtest if so, and of course I'm always willing to see additional versions. I think I did kind of cheese that just by skipping the POW. Because if you do that room while all of the stuff with the muncher and the bomb is on the right side, it's still close enough to be loaded in, such that the key door room is on the right side, the POW room is on the left side, the muncher and the bomb are off-screen by 2 tiles on the right side, and you activate the whole sequence to drop the muncher with that configuration while you have the POW block available. I think that's the way you do it. Let's mark that as win, and let's move on. So yeah, always good to get puzzles like that playtested, just in case you have issues like that. A big muncher would have solved that. I know that positionally it might have been awkward there, but it would still work. Kaio Henif, if you are still here, please check in the chat, and then we will pull you in. I think they might have ditched. If they did ditch Beluga, you will be next. And if we finish early, we may be able to reopen, but I'll prioritize taking my time with the remaining levels first, because I think you warned me that yours was hard. Whether it's fair is something we'll find out very soon. No check-in from Kaio Henif, so we will do a removal, and then we will move on to next in queue. You said it's super hard? Yeah, hopefully we're actually able to do it. If it's something that requires some tricks or some super precision early on that I'm just crashing against constantly, we will not progress very far. But we'll see what kind of difficulty this is, and we'll adjust accordingly. Good luck. 0.73 is not too bad, depending on what's going on. I mean, 0.73 with 7 seconds, however, is telling me that maybe we need to do something really tight very repetitively. So let's see how it goes. And Hyperion, Smokestack, and Mail64, you two have a good night, and we'll hopefully see you around soon enough. Yeah, it is a precision thing, unfortunately. So we just roll the dice until it happens, actually. There's nothing more I can do but that. And thank you so much, Hyperion Smokestack, for that gift sub. Always appreciate you supporting the other makers here as well. And yeah, Mail64, enjoy your queue priority. Possibly as early as tomorrow. As well as the emotes. It took you about 3 hours to clear check. Yeah, there is a particular method for this that people know. I don't know it. I don't know how to line it up. 7 seconds tells me that there's probably not much more to this than this thing here. Like I said, Abilabuga, this kind of thing is precisely the sort of obstacle where if I'm crashing against it repeatedly, we probably won't stay with it for too long. But we'll try it. Because it feels like I'm doing this entirely from luck rather than from actual skill, since I know that I don't actually have the technique to do this properly. Because we need to line ourselves up against a particular pixel and then drop in. And I think we do need to do a straight drop. $2653 boss, how do people do this even? There are some people who are like specialist precision players who do this stuff all the time. And they just have, first of all, extremely consistent inputs, and also I think they sometimes magnify the image to see which pixel they're standing on. Landing in these gaps in midair, though, is really tricky. Like I said, some people do it. I'm not one of them. I don't really play that kind of level very often. But there are streamers who mainly do this sort of thing and mysteriously actually enjoy it, which I don't understand. Hello, Wooga. I'm going to do something very quickly. I'm going to look at the preview for this course to see how much there is after the key door. 11-second clear check time, and it looks like you run across the clouds, and you just hit the flagpole from there. Okay. Assuming there are no other surprises, I guess we just roll the dice into some more. Until we get it. And then not only do we need to land, we need to jump back out accurately. So we will need to do the ground stomp just over and over again for a little bit. And it is something very pixel precise, so we'll just have to repeat it. If it took you 3 hours to clear check, I can assure you it's not taking me 3 hours to do. I will not be playing it for nearly that long. And yeah, we'll see. I don't understand how people do develop methods for this and how they manage it, though. Yeah, I think I do need to ground pound because any kind of sideways movement, any kind of sideways momentum is going to cause trouble for me. No. It really does feel like just rolling a random number when it comes to whether I'm going to hit or not. And there's no way to twirl over that or to hit it in a way that goes around the spikes. I think I do have to make the landing, so. So yeah, Bellywooga, only a few attempts. I will probably not spend too much stream time on this because it's not, I think it's not really that interesting to watch from a viewer's perspective, which is one of the reasons that I don't do precision stuff like this very often. Unless there's actually some platforming design that is wrapped around it, so. There are definitely some people that will do this skillfully, though, and hopefully you manage to locate some of them as you submit this around. But we'll give this a few more tries. Yeah, if you have another level that's not in this style that we can look at, we can do that too, if it's a different kind of difficulty. This sort of precision difficulty is just not the sort of thing that I know how to do, that's all. But if you have another suggestion, we can take a look at that too, briefly. If there's a bit more variety to it than just one jump. Just let me know if you have a particular recommendation, and we can shortly look at it. Okay, you want me to take a look at Mole Push? Yeah, let's do Mole Push. Good luck, you'll need it. 30 seconds, 2%. Let's try it. Okay, so there's a door, and there is something down there. The mole, if it bumps against a P, it is going to bump back. If it bumps back, you are able to move it gently forward. But the problem is that you do need to bump it back all the way, otherwise you're going to run into some issues with it. Also, I'm looking at whether you can do some item abuse with the P drop here. You can't really go back with the P, though. Yeah, you just need to tap the hold button. Actually, that's all you need to do. Just tap quickly. You don't hold the P, you just... nope. Made a bit of a mistake there. And I'm holding the down button the whole time because then I guarantee that I do the soft drop when I release. But that's actually the whole trick. If you can stay to the left of the P the whole time to make sure the mole doesn't get in your way. I think if we do it that way, we can actually do this fairly easily without too much pain. Because this is at least going to be mostly consistent, I think, as long as I don't overdo the input. You need to tap and release very, very quickly. You don't have a lot of animation frames to work with here. And we'll just see if we can get all the way across. I don't think this is just as hard. I think this is substantially easier. But then, of course, that's because I've actually had a lot of practice with this interaction. Because it's used very often in puzzles. And puzzles by people who are not, like, mechanically really skilled players, but who are mostly thinking about oddball mechanical interactions like that one that are not really that difficult to execute. I think this is significantly easier. We raised the clear rate, in fact. I'm sort of surprised it's as low as 2% because the concept is not hard. I think a lot of people don't know this, though, and that's probably the barrier. Yeah, I'm just also wondering about that whole segment at the beginning and what that whole column is about. Because if you have bricks all the way, I wonder if you can swim under those, but as you can see from the layout, you can't really go beyond that unless there are invisible blocks. 110 clear check time, really? And 30-second record. Yeah, okay, I took about a minute as well, so. Thank you for that, Beluga. Like I said, I thought that's much, much, much easier, but that's because it actually feels like it's under my control, whereas precision stuff does not. What is this? Uncleared? Let me just see the cleared time on this. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. Let's queue up the next one. All Out Faye. I don't know why I keep saying all about, but like the film All About Eve. And Beluga, yeah, I could see that was just a very fresh upload. Anyway, All Out Faye, let's take a look at another one from you. This will probably be our closer today. If we have tons of time left over, then maybe we'll open for anybody who missed out, but I think we'll probably just make this a comparatively short session and see if we can get the second clear on Galaxy Warp, which has one clear but on a very long record, as we can see. So much higher clear rate than the other one you showed me, so we'll see how well we do. And, okay, low gravity and galaxy music. It's going to send me straight down the pipe. R-bar is going to go left. Let's account for that. Mole is going to chase us down. And that's okay. If we watch the burner pattern, this is not too hard to deal with. We should just not trigger the mole in the first place, then. So yeah, some of these things can kind of catch you by surprise. And we'll just play around that and learn as we go, I guess. And what is this? Okay, Shellman. Yeah, we'll take it. Is this a side swamp? It is. Angry sun, or at least mildly irritated sun in this style. Alright. Yoshi is going to spit through walls in this style, which is important because it means that we can eradicate everything. Can't deal with the sun just yet, though, although it's possible to kill it in a couple of different ways. Shell it, you can bomb it, you can do all kinds of things. We remember lots of icicle columns, of course, from the previous level that we saw from All Out Faye. Now, the sun is always just going to do that bottom arc, so if we stay reasonably centered in the camera without running around too much, we're actually pretty safe from it. And then this, we will need to probably do a crouch jump over. Here we go. Don't know why my ground stomp has been failing on me slightly lately. Oh, you know what? We can just take the propeller. Not like that, obviously. Okay. We might have to lose Yoshi here, given the nature of the push, and unfortunately that means I'll be without the propeller as well, I think. Assuming I can actually get out of here, which might take a little bit of messing around. Don't think I can retrieve Yoshi at this point, but... yeah, might just be easier to restart the level at this point, actually. depending on whether I can get out gracefully, but no, we'll get out. Bit of a difficult location there, though. I'm beginning to think that timer trouble actually is legitimate risk. Very lucky getting on top of that red cannonball. Let's crouch, and with the helmets, we're actually in pretty good shape here. The bomb, okay. Like I said, the bomb actually does potentially kill the Angry Sun if we can make that happen. But in the meantime, we'll just use the bomb as a bomb. We do need to time the shot, I think. Which is going to be the thing that is a little bit more difficult here. Let's give the sun a little bit more room to move. Let's not stand under the pipe. Nope. Here we go. Alright, all the way back down then. We should have remembered that guy's the moles. That's just a bit of a memory check there. And I totally didn't remember that that was the mole, so... Not pretty far, though. I mean, we need to beat all that and eventually go through the bottom row. And I am a little concerned about the timer, just given how long we took in the bumper segment, but... we'll get back there and try it. And not be too impatient around this segment here. Haha. We keep forgetting. Yeah, this is mostly just a time check. It will be more difficult once you get to the ice segment down below, obviously. Okay. Shelmet's very nice here. Shelmet is going to be the MVP going into the cannon segment, and unfortunately we've lost it, so... However, if we get a propeller later, instead of swallowing it with Yoshi, we'll be in good shape. It won't be useful as a propeller, given the low headroom here, but it will be useful just to give us a bit more breathing room in terms of damage. And getting on top of Yoshi is not going to be too bad. That's okay. We'll get on top of Yoshi just fine. Damage isn't going to matter too much here, in fact, because Yoshi is so easily reclaimed. And, okay, grab this guy. Grab this guy. Pound this. Okay, here's the tricky bit here. We can actually get down here without getting stuck. I actually feel like taking damage and allowing Yoshi to run through the bumpers is the best bet. If I can take damage in this segment by hitting the sun, for instance, which will require me to reposition a little bit. Nah, not going to be able to do it, I don't think. The idea behind it is that taking damage will allow Yoshi to run across, and then I catch up to Yoshi on the other side and reclaim him. Because otherwise, I think I just need to do crouch jumps here, and maybe... Nah, the bumper gets you out of the crouch, and that's the issue. However, we seem to be in okay shape here. At least until we get into issues like this. Okay, getting a crouch here will allow me to angle myself down like that. And then from there, we lose the propeller. Yeah, without the Shelmet, this is going to be a bit more challenging. The issue that I have with this segment is that you're giving the player so many power-ups. You have the propeller, you have the... what is it? You have Yoshi, you have the Shelmet, etc. And unfortunately, the power-ups actually make it more of a pain to get through this rather than less. And having Yoshi, though, is a considerable gain here, because it means that I can easily take damage and just recover immediately. More or less immediately. So we'll see. That was not a problem for me previously, but at least now we know how to get Yoshi across. Getting Yoshi across while remaining tall, though, is going to be a little more difficult. Because ideally, I'd like to retain the Shelmet going into that. Yeah, we'll see if we can get through this. Still making that error over and over. Now we jump up, grab the Shelmet, grab that. Angry Sun's going to try to snipe me here by just cutting him all the way across. We're not going to let that happen. Yeah, Yoshi's going to take everything out. Okay. Yeah, the Sun's not actually a threat here, just given its arc. Given that my position is pretty tightly controlled. Bumper segment is likely to be a nightmare, but we'll deal with it when it comes. Maybe it is a better idea to have Yoshi swallow the propeller hat. Since the propeller hat isn't going to help me, since, you know, if I'm tall, I run into a lot of the same issues. I'll probably just miss it completely. Yeah, I'll miss it. But doing crouch jumps is maybe the right idea here, and then we can reclaim Yoshi as we go. We have some forward momentum. Nope, that's going to lose him. Very unfortunate. Alright. Squeeze through here. Okay. All the way through here. Alright. Oh, the skewer is going to punch that. That's actually momentarily helpful, but only for that one block there. And the Sun is going to light up a bunch of these bombs. Nope, that's going to lose it. Yeah, the timing is a little too difficult to see, I think, with bombs. Nope. Next time I will actually just take damage directly and just hold a bomb in that location. It'll be much easier to just lose a mushroom there, rather than trying to fight here indefinitely. Alright, let's not hit the mole this time. And just get across somewhat quickly. Okay, Sun is going to try to snipe me here. Let's just say centered in the camera instead of moving. Oh, and it's just going to snipe me anyway. Okay. Let's grab a mushroom then. Shelmet was really, really helpful against the spike block segment. We won't have that benefit anymore, unfortunately. Okay, grab this guy. And this guy. Yeah, might as well. I know I can get through while tall now. Actually, I could use the additional hit. I think I do need to drop Yoshi with forward momentum. I think that's the only way to do it. Forward momentum. Adelia Sunshine, welcome. As you can see, life is perfectly fine on our padded cell. The propeller is actually going to help a little bit here. I'm doing alright. We're probably finishing on this level. Because it's the last one in the current queue. But so we'll see how we do for time. I mean, this one has had some weirder sections so far in terms of whether things are in my control, but we're gradually making it across. Slowly but surely. Okay, I have to watch this spike ball segment now. Alright, let's just pass this. Like I said, I'm not going to fuss with the bombs too much. I think it's easier to just take damage on that. So let's... Also, I think we outran the Angry Sun. Which is good, because... now, however, I don't have a way to deal with the bombs here. Whoops. Because I need to take a point of damage to do this reliably. Nope. Good to have the sun out of the way, at least. Okay, it's going to be 5 seconds from activation. There we go. I'm actually watching the clock on the top right as I do this to synchronize the bombs. And now we can actually just toss the bomb in that single tile slot, which is great, because we just need the first bomb to hit, and things are going to be fine from there as long as we get rid of all this stuff. We do need the skewer to retract. And then we have propeller. I feel like fire is actually going to be significantly better than propeller in this situation. Otherwise, we can't actually unblock Boom Boom. Here, we can just spam fire against Boom Boom and nothing is going to stop me. I do think that since we're crossing back across the level, that having the Angry Sun respawn is a definite risk. Because we will be getting back within its range. But here, we can just zone everything out. The Fire Flower well ahead of time before dealing with any of the spike blocks, and so... yeah, that's fairly safe. Alright, that's fine. Let's just get across as quickly as we can, just to minimize complications. And push Yoshi over. Pushing Yoshi over does allow me... okay, we'll have to be careful here, because I'll get bumped Let's wait for Yoshi. Let's wait for Yoshi. And then grab Yoshi again once I have the opportunity, assuming that Boom Boom doesn't totally jump on me first. Let's wait for Yoshi. There we go. Okay. As long as we're careful positionally, Boom Boom will, I think, consistently miss. We just need to go slowly and control Boom Boom's position that way. Okay. And having the icicles drop on Boom Boom as well also helps. Icicles probably help me more than Boom Boom at this point. We just need to do just a very constant forward motion here. And here we can probably spit fire to knock everything out. Oh, whoops. Let's not die. We're pretty far along at this point. And that would be very unfortunate if we had any kind of loss all of a sudden. We might want to get rid of Boom Boom in this location first, just to not deal with it during the Thwomp segment, but let's maybe not fool around with that too much. Okay. Let's just not trigger the Thwomp at all. Oh, except Yoshi, let's not die. Okay, I'm not gonna get crushed, good. That's fine. As long as Boom Boom is not holding keys, we're in good shape. Okay, now we're not in good shape. Yeah, this segment here, of course, with Yoshi is fairly gentle. With Boom Boom in the way, though, we might have to take some damage here and there. Alright, let's just gradually make our way forward. Like I've been saying, Boom Boom isn't actually too threatening here if we are just careful. There we go. Almost through this segment here. 37 seconds remain, though. That's going to be an issue if we don't hit anything like a checkpoint soon. Checkpoint is soon. Excellent. We have fire. What we don't have is... Well, I mean, we have 20 seconds. Can we go further? More Boom Booms. Okay, that's fine. We know there's Bowser at the end. I did see that previously. What is that? Propeller? I want fire instead, actually. Okay, here's Junior. Here's enemy spam. And that's okay when it time's up. We don't have access to Yoshi, but we will have access to a whole bunch of power-ups. I feel like killing Junior for the clown car is likely to be the best course of action. Angry Sun's going to respawn. Okay, I guess I did kill the sun earlier, and I didn't realize it. With the rest of the stuff, though, we just want to outrun as much as possible. Yeah, Fire Flower actually isn't going to help me too much here. I mean, you can inflict damage with it from distance, of course, but the main issue I would run into here is with the Fire Flower, I just have a lot less flexibility in positioning. Okay, this Bowser stack. We know that there are more propellers at the pipe, which is good because we can just do some unstacking. Okay, no, I do actually need the Junior car. And that's okay, that just makes this a clown car fight, really. And I should get propeller for that. Just to take the extra point of damage. And then we can punch through the stuff at the very end. So we should be fine. Not too worried about this level at this point, actually. particularly because we're past checkpoint and we've got tons of time to work with. And I'm in a very safe position now. It's only getting easier from here. It's just a little bit spammy. Yeah, okay. So, that's one Bowser down. We don't actually need to take them both down as long as I just bust through the blocks. And we'll be able to get through the exits this way. Since Bowsers are down, I actually want to get another propeller hat, just for safety. Moreover, the blocks are down, that's the important thing. And once we have the propeller hat, we will be able to get out this way, and then we'll see how much is left. Okay, low gravity once again. Conveyors going up. And almost there, I think. Just a bit of a lengthy segment here. Interesting. Okay, everything's going to get dunked. I guess the idea is that after you hit the flag, the track block sends you up for some kind of final cutscene. Not if we activate it first, of course, but we'll just try not to activate it first.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
And yeah, it just bumps you up top. Nothing special. Well, thank you for that. We had the 11-minute time here. A little bit over that 8-minute time. I mean, it did initially feel like if we had gone just a little bit faster, it was doable in a single segment. Given that, with the time we were taking on the bumper segment, I guess that left me too little time past checkpoint. But we were close. So thank you for that, All Out Faye. Adelia Sunshine, do you have a level for me today? Because we are at the end of the queue, but since you came in late, if you have one, you're welcome to send it in. If you do not, then we will probably close up from here. So do let me know. Sometimes we have time to reopen for people who did not have the opportunity to submit earlier. And, okay, I played your only level. Yeah, if you ever have any suggestions from friends or favorite makers, that's totally fine as well. But we will close down for today, then. And we'll pass you on to somebody else interesting in just a moment. Once again, just the same announcement. Oh, PC to Wolf. You know, we can open for one more, actually. PC to Wolf, I am at the end of the queue, and I do have time for one more. So I'm happy to open for people who have not previously submitted. So we'll do one from you, and then you can be our closer today. But then I will, for sure, be closing after that. And yeah, PC to Wolf will just give you a moment. So yeah, we'll stay for one more. Not a problem. And if you have any trouble with your code, yeah, just give me your maker code and I'll punch that in. And bring up the level of your choosing. Okay, is it the latest one? Okay, I get a chance for first clear. Thank you for offering it. It's that time again, I'm afraid. Time for a first clear, perhaps. Reached the goal after grabbing all 17. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, I see. Okay, we just need to do a short hop off the beginning. Time is not really tight here. So it's going to be 12 coins plus the 5 pink ones near the end. Let's just rethink how I'm going to do this guy here. I feel like I need to kind of fall in below it like that, or go up below it, one of the two, like an edge jump, or... There we go. Right along the edge, in fact. Not super, super tight, thankfully. Okay, that's fine, I'll take that. I feel like I should check the vine first next time. I mean, we'll check both the key door and the vine at some point, but we'll... Yeah, last time jumping off the edge before I made contact with the spike was the right solution. So we've been going a little bit too early every time, and that's the thing to fix here. But it's a simple fix, it's just that at the very beginning of the level, we'll be re-rolling on that quite a few times, I think, before we really do get it right. Just edging closer and closer. Maybe falling towards it is easier, but I don't know about that. Let's just try to replicate the successful method we do know about. Here we go. Yeah, that's easily fixed, I think, but let's not ram into it. Yeah, we can actually duck a little bit into it. I don't think that really had too much of an impact, but we'll take it anyway. Let's check up here first, just in case we have anything that needs to be seen. Okay, 1-ups, just not coins. That's fine. And this is the cover art. And yeah, I did notice that you have a nice 300-second timer if we need to repeat things like this, so... Better safe than sorry, really. Yeah, because I'm not doing this stuff on the first try, that's for sure. Whoops, backed off a little too aggressively there. That's okay, we can probably get past this section. This is a clear condition level, so no checkpoints. That's fine, we will see how much there is left. The 10 remaining coins past a key door. I'm the first person playing it? Yeah, like I said, thanks for offering me first clear on this version. Don't know if you're doing any further fixes, but I'm sure that if there is anything weird or broken, we'll reveal it. And yeah, you caught me at the perfect time. I was just about to log off, but I was doing a final call for anybody who had not managed to make it in before queue closing, so worked for me. Like grabbing this going left to right is probably a little bit better. The end had piranha plants, but you removed them because you couldn't even do those yourself, yeah. Yeah, I'm really not a precision player, so I'm glad this is actually fairly relaxed. Yeah, let's just not hug that wall on our way down in case we run into that spike on the right side. Let's just let go directionally if we do take a fall. And then we'll see what's on top to get us over to flag. I think we probably have a bit more left to do. Okay, up we go. Oh, whoops. Not like that. And okay, let's pop this up here. And yeah, I mean, all the stuff we know at this point that we could do it. The Muncher segment isn't too bad at all either, because you do have a consistent 2-block gap to drop into. As long as you don't speed your way through it too aggressively. Things are probably going to be fine. Okay. There we go. Sliding off that gently is going to work. Yeah, I mean, given that you, in this layout, just have a lot of, blank background here, and a lot of it can be infilled with some mushroom platforms or semi-solids if you want to give this place a bit more visual context. I think it's fairly readable as is. I mean, the thing about decoration is that it is something that's supposed to assist readability, right? Because it allows you to think about locations as being recognizable places in the level rather than just blocks. So the purpose of decoration is partly to make things easier to see, not just more pleasing, although that's also true. So we'll do this little getting over it segment without tapping too aggressively to the right as we drop into each of these locations, and like I said, that was pretty much the end. There was just one more jump. One more jump and it drop. I did almost have it. Okay, let's just do some stuff like that to get some bad attempts out of the way, and then we'll get back into action. Oops, didn't expect to slide that much on the icicle that time. I guess I previously didn't have any issues with it. It's funny because when uploading this, you never died to the spikes on the right, but the one tiny spike on the bottom, yeah. Oh, you mean the one on the column when you're climbing up at the end? Yeah, I saw it and I was just very careful about never holding right if it looks like I'm falling. Because that one's easily avoidable if you're paying attention to what you're doing. But different players are going to have different habits, right, in terms of whether they're going to have more trouble with one or the other. Okay. But yeah, I'm really glad you have a generous timer on this one. And that the spacing isn't too punishing as well. It's a precision style level that I'm actually able to do, which is unusual. There we go. And around. Your first sort of lengthy precision level, yeah, the lengthier it is, I mean, definitely the more relaxed it should be, I think. Unless you're specifically going for a very hardcore precision audience. And there you go, there's that spike finally sniping us. So it does serve a purpose after all, other than just making it difficult for you to clear check. And yeah, precision, like one jump getting to the ending. We had a level like that earlier tonight, and we just ended up swapping it for another selection by the same maker. Because a lot of the problems with levels that are just one jump like that is that from a streaming perspective, they're not as fun to watch, I think. And so it's nice to have precision that has a bit more variety. We actually opened the stream today with a really interesting kind of light precision level, where the margins of error were, fairly generous like this one, but the stage would substantially transform as you jumped around it. Like you would just be looping around the same stage and it would constantly be shifting on you. And it was a ton of fun. And so there definitely is room in the precision genre to be doing more level design, and I think sometimes people who are making these are so focused on difficulty that it's easy to lose track of the fact that you can still think about them in terms of level design when it comes to variety and just the rhythm and pacing of the challenges and just psychological games that you're playing with the player. Okay, let's go over here. And yeah, focusing on enjoyment, I think, is a good attitude to have when it comes to levels of this style or any style. And thank you so much for the follow. Oh, whoops. Just bent that jump a little too early there when I was trying to get back on. And don't worry, Entrojan, that the distraction was only partially responsible. I don't blame you in the least. Although admittedly I was looking over at my notifications. That happens. And that's just something that comes with the territory when you play things live on video. And yeah, PC to Wolf, I think I do have this. I'm not concerned about my ability to clear this. I think I can get this in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, so I'm not hitting that lower spike on the way down. On the way down, it's on the way up that I run into trouble. Obviously, we're going to fool around and read the text. DL Wolfie. And so that's the end credit for you. Let's hit the flag a little bit low, but we got it. And thank you, Adelia Sunshine. I appreciate the confidence. So. And that is indeed the first clear, so thank you very much, PC to Wolf, and welcome in momentarily Sane as well, and thank you for the GG from All Out Faye. I was kind of curious about your clear time here, too. Let's take a look at this. Your check time 1:30, okay. And yeah, we did beat it slightly. I mean, I did have a bit of practice along the way, and died to that early jump, but thank you very much. So yeah, glad we managed to sneak that in right at the end, just as I thought I was going to close. This is, I think, a good time to be shutting down then. So I will be passing you folks on to somebody else interesting, likely somebody else doing Mario Maker, but just a quick word about our plans for tomorrow. I will be running viewer levels at the same time tomorrow, but after queue closing and after we get through the rest of the pile, if I have any remaining time, we will be doing a bit of a pre-party where we show off some of the makers in week 1 of 5YMM, which is being uploaded Sunday morning, NA time, or Sunday evening in Europe. And there's going to be a trailer for that and everything, and it's going to be fantastic. So do look forward to that. We'll hopefully have some of the makers involved hanging out here as well, because we do see some of them here regularly. And that's going to be the event tomorrow. We will do the viewer queue first, though, so if you have more levels to send me, we'll run them tomorrow. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. We'll find somebody to raid in just a moment. And no worries about coming in at the end, of course, if that's what you've been doing. I know who I'll be passing you on to, and I'll just reveal that in a moment, but for now, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you around. Enjoy all the levels, whether you are playing or making, and have a great day. Fare thee well.